Hey everyone, Doug and PA here. I am gonna do a reaction. This is gonna be my first reaction live. Thanks for everyone who are here already. I really appreciate it. Um, this is a reaction to the Mandem's Voice podcast. China started off he first got exposure on the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel, and he has taken off into the stratosphere. He had his first show. He's based in Britain. The guy's a G. Uh, he he waited till 1,000 subs to start his show, and we are going to react to it. So, can everyone hear me? Okay, let me know if you can hear me. Everything should be good to go. And I put the link in the chat if you want to come up and join, because this is we're going to do about an hour and 10 minutes. I know this video is about an hour and 37, but we're going to do, and so I know some of these guests, so I'm gonna give a little bit of background before we start the reaction. So I've called into China's show a couple times, and this guy right here, I forgot his name, but I talked to him. He, he he's a good guy. I've seen her on Pro, so the girl next to him with the pink shorts, and she's has a little bit of an attitude. I forgot her name, but she was a good guest. Now, Bexy Lucy is the blonde right next to China. She's a real one. I don't believe in simping, but if there is a girl to simp for, it's Bexy Lucy. She runs femininity courses and femininity classes. She's red pill to all heck. She wants to get married. She wants to have kids, and she just bodies these modern women in a silent assassin type of way. She's a real one. You see China here now. Naomi here is next to China, and Naomi is cool, but don't be fooled. She's pretty. She has tattoos all over her hands, and she's a 35-year-old single mom. She teeters back and forth between red pill and then, but she's a woman who's a single mom. She just can't help herself sometimes. So you may hear her say some things where you're like, "Oh, she's all right." Guys, don't be fooled by the hype. I'm sure she's a nice person, but remember, my channel is about helping men and helping men get what they want. And then I've never seen her. And then she's been on Pearl's show before, but she wasn't this thugged out. This girl with the hat and the jumpsuit in. So we're gonna get started with the action right now. Let's go.
My name is China, and welcome to the first episode of the Mandem's Voice podcast. Okay. So this is not only just the first episode, this is also our Valentine's Day edition. As you can clearly see that we've got some nice flowers there. Everyone looking really nice over there. So guys, look, I think I saw the comments, like I saw the requests, like everyone's asking me, oh, when are you going to start your own podcast after? Yeah, shout out to Pearly Things, because I definitely blew up on Pearly Things, so we can shout out to Pearly Things. But what I said was, I'm not going to start my podcast till I hit 1,000 subscribers. And guys, we hit 1,000 subscribers.
And I think that was a good thing. China literally got his followers just based upon exposure from other people. And so and then I know that he said that oh this China in the chat, everyone say what's up. Let's give him some honest feedback about this channel, about his podcast, because one of the best parts about China is that he's really kept his eyes and ears open on uh about his audience and what he wants to do. So give him your honest feedback. And Kinford Julian, always good to see you, bud.
Okay, and true to my word, we hit that yesterday, and we're going to start it today. So What I want to ask you guys, you do please, if you could subscribe if you haven't done already, and like the video is very important. It's the one way that YouTube shows that you're feeding my content, and then share it with people and comment, because I read the comments. Everyone knows I read the comments, and it's the one way that I know I can get the feedback, positive and negative. And to be fair, if it's going to be negative, it's likely these baby moms that are hating on me. But that's the only negative contact we get. So without any ado, I want to I'm joined by some lovely guests, some familiar faces and not so familiar. So we're gonna go from left to right. If you could just say who you are, what you do. It doesn't have to be just your job, because none of our jobs define us. So it could be your side hustle, your relationship status, and your best and worst Valentine's gift. So we'll start with you.
And put me on the spot still. Ghost the writer. That's what it is on the socials. Yeah, I'm a creative entrepreneur. Worst and best Valentine's gift that I've received. I haven't really. It's like teddy bears and flowers and chocolates and baked things that I've.
So I talked to Ghost Rider a couple times, and Guy knows what he's talking about. The only problem I've had is he's probably the person I've talked to that uses the most British slang of anyone. So there are times where I have to put, as an American, I hear him talk and he's making sense once I filter through all the British slang. Like he was the one that taught me. Talking to him was what taught me what a ting was. Does anyone else not know what a ting was? Exactly.
Crepes. I don't know, like there's nothing bad or good about it. Like I've just received like normal things.
Okay, cool.
Relationship status.
Oh, no comments still.
Yeah. That really is a relationship status in 2020.
Hey, AJ, how's it going?
Yo,
Are
what's
you
going on, everybody? How you doing?
good? Are you first off, you're always supporting my channel, so thanks for being on here. Are you familiar with China and China's content?
Yeah. I saw China on Pearly Things, you know what I'm saying? And I think that China's always been the one where he doesn't put up with as much crap as some of the other male guests do. I think it's just like culturally, he's just like, because I think he's African, so he's just like red pill in his bones. And the one clip where he told the girl not to swear at him because she just met him, I think that was like, it really did really make people understand how crazy that modern women were, because a lot of black men, we're just asking for women to just be polite and be nice to us. And he couldn't get that at all. And he had drawn his line to say, look, at least be polite and show me respect. Like I'm not asking for much. And the fact that he got that much pushback, but then he stayed calm and in his frame, I think that's what made me, find his YouTube channel, find his Instagram, and subscribe. So I'm honestly kind of shocked that it took him this long to do this, honestly. You know what I mean? Because I remember seeing him like a while ago, and then trying to find his stuff, and I'm just glad that he's doing stuff now. But that one clip just stands out to me, because he was like, "Look, just stop. Just why do you got to swear at me? Like, I'm not calling you. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we just met. So why do you got to cuss at me? I haven't disrespected you." And she was like, "Rah rah 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 rah." So yeah.
Okay.
You're China's
Right, cool.
a G, man. I like him.
All right. Good.
The only thing I think I watch his Instagram. I don't know. You'd ask for criticism. I've seen him talk about himself and his views a couple times on Pearly Things podcast. But I wish he would do more of like a, I don't know, like a monologue or something, so we could understand where he's kind of coming from, right? Because I know, so for instance, yes, look, I'm American, so I know that King Richard is a black British guy and China is a black British guy. Fine, but like, I want to know like what You know what I'm saying? Like more about like what makes him think the way he thinks. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing. Because his Instagram and Grand Live, it's cool that he jumped straight into callers and all, but like I don't like.
It's well, so it would be good to hear what kind of sets him apart and what hills he's willing to stand on, right?
Yeah. That that's it. Because I don't even plug my own channel, but I'm a red pill guy too. You guys shout out my channel, AJ's rants and reactions. But I try to at least give my stance and where I stand on things. But Instagram, I know China's in the chat. Hey, what's up, man? Uh, I I think that it's pretty ballsy going on doing Instagram live because you have a lot less control, right? So whereas if you do like YouTube and you do a live, you can mute people, you can kick them off, you can do things where you can moderate more. Whereas Instagram, even Kevin Samuel's Instagrams were a different energy than his call-in shows because you can't mute people. You gotta like tell them, hey, calm down, please. Whereas a StreamYard thing or whatever, you just mute them and then, as I was saying. But anyways, problem. Big up to China for even but pulling this off because it's a lot of work. But anyways,
Oh no. All right. Well, yeah, he's in the chat. So anything that you know, uh, thanks for the feedback, and let's get back into this reaction.
No comment. What about you?
I go by the name of Pink Kush. You can find me on the socials as the same thing. On Snapchat is Cushums, which is half of the name.
did she just say Pink
entrepreneurial. I do a
Kush?
lot of other things. I'm
Yep, she said
qualified
Pink Kush.
in like swimming, hospitality, events. The list goes on. I'm an artist. I make music.
Of
I'm
course she is.
versatile. My relationship status is free agent.
Of course it is.
currently. Not that there's not candidates.
I'm not
just
surprised.
Anyone?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Option.
And the last thing was my worst Valentine's Day. Wow, I don't think I've had one. But if I was to say like someone just being a bit ungrateful,
What's your best Valentine's Day gift?
Jewelry, money, the D.
I don't know. Goddamn.
Collectible things.
Her parents must be proud.
Hi guys, I'm Bexy,
Telling you,
mindset
Bexy's-
and femininity coach.
All right, I'm halfway to simping on Bexy, but I'm just gonna say it one last time. Bexy's a real one. So you can always count on her to freaking body some freaking modern women, dude. Straight up.
In my spare time, I like to ride horses. I am not single and I've never been given anything for Valentine's Day, so I don't have a good or a bad.
I couldn't believe
How can you not be single and you've never been
I couldn't believe she said that.
given anything for Valentine's Day?
It wasn't from February last year.
But you've basically this Valentine's Day is gonna be your first one that you're gonna get something.
It will be the first year, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
We're gonna have to check.
Best come through.
I know.
I will be messaging like, dot.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah,
a lot of
I'll
pressure.
tell you
Wait.
after. I'll tell you.
It's the best and worst you've received.
Yeah.
Not just like given.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying I've given like flowers or
No,
something.
just what you received. Yeah, just what you
Oh,
received.
see,
We'll
yeah.
speak about your role
So-
model.
As a preemptive, they go into this one footballer in Britain, this Mason, whatever the heck guy, and because we're American, we're gonna skip that part. So we're gonna get back into it, but
That's another thing that if you look at like just pearly things, I swear I know more about British speak than ever. So like I don't even know what Mandem is. I still don't to this day. Like I don't know what that.
well,
that means.
from what I was told in the chat, because I moderate King Rich's chat, Auntie's chat, I'm a mod in China's chat, and then just probably things. And China could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Mandem is a combination of is from the Caribbean, and it's a combination of man and them,
Oh,
where they get
okay.
Mandem from. Am I
Word,
right
word.
with that?
Word.
Put in the chat if that's correct, because that's what someone told me in the chat. And we don't use Mandem at all in the United States.
No, we use
So-
bruh, dude, Fam.
Let's get back into it.
Your lover boy.
No. So what I've received.
Yeah.
Oh, the best is a holiday.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Go
You got
boy.
feet now?
I
Oh.
thought like just what you
Yeah.
yeah, because you just give bait things like flowers or
But you didn't buy her a holiday. Hang on a minute.
So let's just move it across to you. So
surprise.
So my name is Naomi. My socials are n_Mamadou87. I am a writer, creative, and at the moment I'm writing an erotic romance.
ooh,
Of course she
what
is.
is like Mills and Boons, that type of stuff?
Well, this one is actually like, you know, most erotic romances always have like this superiority from the man's perspective. This is like a
365 days.
fluidity of like which ultimately it ends in unconditional love. So they go through all of these different types of relationships and it's written from a male's and female's perspective.
Okay.
But obviously in any romance there is a lot of erotic.
Yeah.
So I'm just really good at writing about sex basically.
Okay.
Unrelated.
And what's your
That's
best or
gonna
your worst
fail.
Valentine's gift you ever
That's
given?
gonna fail. That's
I
gonna
don't actually-
fail.
I don't know because I don't put that much emphasis on Valentine's Day. I just get gifts like, and so I don't know if it was on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I just like I'm not driven. I'm not impressed by gifts per se. I
Yeah.
appreciate them, but I don't buy into consumerism. So I mean,
Okay.
That's not your love language.
yeah.
I was about to say that's not your love
Quality
language.
Women are so much cap. I don't buy into consumerism. Get out of here.
time. If you ask me like the most
Okay.
intimate relationship I've ever been in, then I'd be able to give you that in detail. But gifts, I'm like, I got a motorbike once, but that wasn't for Valentine's. I got this. I could give you a list of gifts, I
Yeah.
got, but it wouldn't be just for Valentine's Day.
Okay, cool.
I refuse to conform.
So what about you?
So my name is Emmy. I'm a student nurse from Birmingham. Well, I live in Birmingham. I'm not from Birmingham, but my Instagram is Miss MV, but I'm not really a Instagrammer. I just post whatever. Aside of that, I'm PTSD advocate, DV advocate. So I do a lot of charity work with.
Add that to the list of red flags, guys. If a woman openly says that they're a PTSD advocate and a DV advocate, pay your half of the bill on a first date and walk out the door because that's nothing but problems.
People from any age, from backgrounds of all sorts of trauma, on the back of going through it myself. And I don't think I've really ever had a Valentine's Day. I've had a lot of nothings on Valentine's Day,
Wow.
but nothing
Oh, sorry about that.
pending
Pending, yeah.
pending Valentine's Days.
This Valentine's looking
Yeah.
better. And last but certainly not least,
it's me. I'm back. Hey guys, it's Miriam. If you already know, then you know. If you don't, then hi. I'm a presenter, creative director, mindset coach. I do a bunch of stuff. I've been on many platforms with China and obviously got my own podcast. So Conscious Conversations, check it out. Almost even the tongue twister, honey. Almost got yeah, for my own podcast, allow it. But yeah, that's me.
Okay, so guys, so let's get straight to it. So
does conscious mean the same in Britain as it means over here?
Like, because in America, we conscious, well, conscious means aware, but then conscious, some people use it as a synonym for woke too. So you got to be careful
that's what
how
it means
people
to us
use
American
conscious.
blacks.
Yeah, man, watch
American
out
blacks, if you're conscious, it means that you're about, racial equity and black history, black issues. So she's white, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so I don't know. Maybe it means something different there. China can probably correct me in the comments. I don't know, but I just know that a white girl saying she has conscious conversations is just kind of funny to me.
Yeah, it usually means woke.
So seeing how it's Valentine's Day, I want to ask, when it comes to long-term commitment and marriage, what's love got to do with it?
Nothing.
So
nothing.
so there's a really good movie that's coming out and I recommend everyone goes and sees it. So it centers on two friends, next door neighbors, Cam, who is a British born Pakistani, and Gemma, who is a British English woman who is a filmmaker. Now, Cam decides to allow his parents to set him up on a arranged marriage, and she documents the whole process. So while documenting it, it's clear to see that Cam and Zoe have a real chemistry, but due to cultural differences, the both of them, obviously, they're not going to get it together. So I don't want to ruin it for all of you, but it touches on interracial dating. It touches on the British family, arrange.
So one of the best parts about China is that he's a 30-year-old guy, accomplished, and he wants to get married. And in my opinion, we need more red pill, accomplished black guys who want to get married, because the only way out of this, you know, is family. And so I like the fact that he has this kind of content on his channel, and I hope he runs with it.
Or should we say assisted marriage, as they call it, and women's fertility. And I think every woman over 30 should see it.
And he makes a distinction just now. There's arranged marriage and assisted marriage. Arranged marriage is where your families plan your marriage, but assisted marriage is when your families know each other and kind of guide you towards meeting and stuff and set like family expectations, but you still have the right to be able to decide if you want to marry the person or not.
And also women under 30 should see it as well. So what I want to know, when it comes to picking partners in the UK, the UK has a 55% divorce rate versus assisted marriages, which is 6% divorce rate. Is it time to stop picking what you like and start picking what makes sense?
100%.
What a great question.
I'm gonna. Who wants to take that first?
I don't mind. Say the question again.
So when it comes to picking love, so basically assisted marriage, right? It's not arranged marriage.
Yeah,
assisted marriage is where people look at like basically your family go out there and they know the qualities that you want. They don't, it's not based upon what someone looks like. It's not, you know what I mean? So it's compatibility, right?
Based on okay, compatible with my
and
family.
there's a 55% divorce rate for when people pick their partners versus 6% divorce rate for assisted marriages, right? Not arranged. Arranged marriages is a different thing, right? So what I'm saying,
well,
when it comes to picking a partner, like what has love got to do with it?
I don't think love has very much to do with it, because love is a choice. So what people deem in society as love isn't actually what love is. That's attachment. It's all the chemicals that are released in your mind that make you trick you into thinking you're in love, so that then you can.
So I do agree. If you take all the spirituality stuff out of there, I do agree with kind of what Naomi is saying. Having been married before, Kevin Samuel said it the best: respect comes first, utility comes second, love comes third. Because, having been married and divorced before, I can tell you, you're only going to love someone about 80% of the time. The other 20% is going to be meh, and maybe 5% of that 20%, you're going to hate that mofo. So respect and utility are what will get you through those times where you can't stand that person. So if you're going to marry someone on just love, you got a problem.
Procreate. And so for me, if the statistics are saying that assisted marriages work better, then like I can't see it being a negative thing. Would I want that for me? Definitely not. Like, because there's so many elements that I need mentally, like my family are not in the same space consciously as.
And that's how she ended up a single mom.
As me. So then they might pick somebody that I'm compatible maybe on paper, but then physicalities and that transfer of energy.
In your past, when you've picked men,
transfer of energies. Oh my God, women.
And they haven't. That's been your choice. You'll pick them for anything that you deem the reason. But the relationships have failed for any reasons, right? So, but that's based upon your choices. So that actually represents the 55% of breakups, right? Versus if your family do it and do it based upon what they know, what you need versus what you like, it has a 6% chance of breakup. So what I'm trying to say to you is,
But how many people is that?
Here we go. She has to question the numbers. She has to question it.
What percent? Like, it's a very small percentage of people that get assisted marriages. So it's like
in the West.
Oh,
snap. In the West, yeah.
Naomi's in the chat. Big up to Naomi.
But are we talking? Is this statistic from the West or is it from?
No, it was actually from the West. It was actually from this country.
Okay.
Because it's a British movie. It's a British movie. So and
no, I'm on about the statistic, not the movie.
No, but the statistics taken from the movie, and it's based upon a British-born Pakistani in this country, and he's been trying to do.
Was that a cultural thing or based on like?
No, it's just so what the movie's trying to show is that it shows his next door neighbor, who is basically his friend, different cultural things. She's doing Tinder, doing all the dating things, and it's not working. And he's tired of that. And he said, you know what? I'm going to hand it over to my family now and to go for assisted marriages. And then I'm now learning that actually assisted marriages, not arranged marriages, they actually benefit. So what I want to have a conversation is that when it comes to picking your own partner, is it better that you pick your partner or people that know you best?
So my thoughts are,
No, you go first.
yeah, my thoughts are like, it's case by case. Everyone's different, and it depends on so many variables. Yeah. I personally believe
Like
it's a balance. And
MPA pause it right there. Anyone who says it's case by case, or that you know, everyone's different, that's not adding to the conversation at all. Nothing derails a discussion more than to each his own. Everyone's different, case by case. It's not
It all
case
depends.
by case. People who, and I'm not trying to like insult this guy because he means well, but like anyone that does that is not trying to add positively to the conversation at all. It's variable. Well, it all depends. It is everyone's different. No, that's not how it works. There's a majority and a minority for any issue, right? And you have to be able to generalize in order to have conversations. Dogs bark. Most dogs bark. Some dogs don't bark. But we have to go on the assumption in the conversation that most dogs bark. Most cars have four wheels. But if you say that, someone goes, well, it's a case by case basis. You know, it depends on the car. We can't have a conversation.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
The diaspora or the Western world, we're solely looking at aesthetics and superficial things. So that's too far extreme. And it'll be good to look at some functional aspects so you get a bit of balance. But total functional wouldn't work for me because, you know, if you're born and bred here and if you've dated or seen a lot of people, right, you're kind of like subconsciously assessing everyone and comparing everyone. And like it or not, you're going to be corrupted and polluted. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas, say someone who hasn't really dated and is more traditional culturally, and then they get introduced, they ain't got no reference point. So it might work from that point of view. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's not arranged, but people with arranged marriages in older generations that haven't really dated too tough, but then get introduced to someone and that's their first partner.
But with this one, yeah, it's not that. It's the fact that he represents what in the West you have all the options.
Okay.
And it's not working. He's a doctor. I think he's in his early 30s, and he's dated, and now he's saying, look, it's not working. So he's handing it over to his parents to be like, right, you know what's basic. So for assisted marriage. So I'm saying we all have the option now to pick any partners that we want. That's the luxury that we have, right? But I always say when women complain about their partners, they're like, oh, is this? But I said you picked him.
So from personal experience, I've personally thought, you know what? Like typically I get like, say for example, Chris.
Doug and PA, can you pause here?
But don't have the
the word partner. I don't like the term partner at all.
Well, AJ, on my channel, I always say women that toss the term partner around, red flag.
Yeah.
And I would say to ladies, guys who toss the term partner around is a red flag. Would you agree? Yes or no?
I agree. And it's because partner is a non-descriptive descriptor. If you're trying to say that you're entering into a partnership, so let's just say that like you and I, we're going to be business partners, right? That doesn't mean anything until we sit down and we write a contract and we hash it out to define roles, right? And most people don't have the personal skills or the communication skills or even the balls to actually try and define what partner means up front in a relationship. That's why we use terms like husband, wife, fiance, girlfriend, boyfriend. It's because it automatically has roles intrinsically built into the term. Yeah. People want to use the term partner because using other terms like husband, wife, whatever, there's expectations. There's something that you could be held to. And partner means
partner is vacuous and nebulous. That's what they call
vague. and
Yep.
vague.
The
I don't use
internal
the word partner at all.
Yep. I'm the same way. I agree 100%.
elements. So I tried to change my own narrative.
Mm.
So what I did was I started separating my wants and needs and prerequisites and preferences, yeah. And then I did that, and I found like people that I would say are more compatible on paper, like the resume, on a functional level. However, I went too extreme with it, and there was no chemistry or spark. So my thing is, for me, a balance is good. No one's perfect, just a bit of that and a bit of that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes now, someone's all good on paper, but there's no attraction or no chemistry or no spark.
Yeah.
Then when you have an argument or something, there's no adhesive. It's like having every bricks to build a house, but no cement.
I love
There's
that.
no adhesive.
I love that.
So you see in a building the foundations, like them bricks there, it's easy to knock over.
Yeah.
But if you've got some cement, certain times I might give a girl a blind just because she looks cute and we got chemistry.
Yeah.
So I need a little bit of that
You need
so
something
I
to
can
work
give her a
with.
blind, because
Like,
otherwise I'm going to be
yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you don't like them in that moment, you can at least look at them and be like, you know what, I still want to have sex with you.
That's it.
Kush.
I don't like you, but I want to fuck you.
I think it's a mixture of things, like you were saying. It's not just one thing. It depends on the individual. Obviously, a lot of people haven't
There it goes. It depends. It's not one thing. It depends on the individual. Ugh.
experienced a lot of interactions in a certain way, so maybe they're more inclined to, you know, accept that offer. They'll be like, yeah, why not have someone pick, you know, a partner for me, because clearly I don't know what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. But a lot of people are confident and they'll be like, you know what, I trust my own judgment. Or you just want to see how someone is. So you give people, like you said, the benefit of the doubt. You might oblige them based on little things that you might have told yourself are red flags. Because we've all, like you said, if you've ever told a girl like you picked that guy, whatever not, will be based on the fact that, you know, she's experienced red flags and she might have just given him bliges here and there. And then after all, you know, it hasn't turned.
We have a couple more people coming in. So, hey, Naomi. How's it
Hey,
going?
this is a whole new experience. I was like, what is this link?
You get to react to yourself.
Ah!
So you get to hear from two Americans, because I'm American, and then AJ. Oh wait. Oh oh, AJ dropped out. Well, let's see if he can come back in. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm American, and then let me see. Give me 1 second. 1 second. It is on. Okay, because I have a couple more people trying to join here. Let me see. Well, when they come up, they come up. So, yeah. So if you want to sit it on the reaction, because I have AJ is American, and then Jay is going to call in too. He's American too. So, and I think it's always interesting to have an outside perspective. But just real quick, what did you think of China's first show?
It was
Feedback-wise.
amazing. I'm like a proud sister. I think he's great in terms of the way he allows you to have your opinion and it not be completely dismissed. We can have opposing opinions and it still be discussed.
So what would you say with the because you've been on all of the you've been on, I think you've been on Rich's show, you've been on Pearl's show, right?
Yeah.
What would you say was the difference since you're about that energy? What was the difference in energy between on China's show than all the rest of the shows that you've been on in the kind of that whole group?
Yeah. I think it's the approach. So I have to say feel because I can't like say what they actually what they're actually doing. I can only say from my perspective, can't I? China seems to want to actually have the conversation and not like steer it into just being his narrative.
Okay.
So then it's the actual conversation because I've been on quite a few lives with China as well. So it's always very respectful. It's always, he listens, he actively listens. And so that's more, and I think it's just a different setting as well. People don't see, well, on this first show, nobody really got triggered. I find that on some of the other channels, people get really triggered quite easily.
Yeah.
And so it kind of derails the conversation, and we end up like talking about how we're talking to each other rather than the actual topic.
Okay.
Yeah, but I still enjoy going on and having, because for me it's opened up my perspective in being able to see other people, because I didn't, before I went on Just Pearly Things, I had never been on a podcast and I'd never even heard of Red Pill. Like I
Oh
didn't even
wow.
know I didn't know these discussions were even a thing. I didn't know about the top 1% and 20%. Didn't know that this, I was very much in a bubble of just where I was at and what I was doing. And so for me it's very much opened up my ability to see from different perspectives.
Okay. Yeah. That's great feedback. Because I have seen you on all the shows, and then you go on Instagram live a lot, and you're so interesting to listen to. W- I also like your reactions because you had you've had a couple. You've been on shows with a couple of crazy women, and you give the crazies that side eye.
I can't hide what I'm
You
thinking
know
in my
exactly what I'm
face.
talking about. And just a little bit about my background. So I've been following King Richard since 2017 when he was still in America doing videos in his car.
Oh,
And
okay.
then I've been following Pearl since she had 19,000 subs.
Oh, wow. I
And
think you
so
actually commented on one of my, like, did something and I think you commented on it at some point.
yeah,
Because
it's
are you on a bike and one of your display pictures?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's me.
I remember faces, I'm not very good with names, but I'll if I see a picture next to a comment, I will always remember the picture rather than the name of the account.
Well, I'm an identical twin, so I know how bad it is when people get their names wrong because people always get my so that's why if you see in the chat, like I remember all the regulars and I try to say hi to them, and people they say, how do you remember all their names? It's because my whole life I've been called my twin's name and vice versa, so I know
Mm.
what it is to. Anyway, we're gonna get so if you want to chime in and react to this, anything that you had on your mind or anything you wanted to add about the atmosphere or expand on anything, you can go right ahead. We're gonna get this reaction moving again, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And up for the best. So I just feel like for myself, love can exist, but like you were saying, I believe love is like something that you create. It can't exist without you making it. You know.
But
What I'm saying?
don't you think if
built.
you're stuck on an island with someone else and he was on YouTube, don't you think you will learn to love them?
I could,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, because I would like disregard certain things. Like I would
Yeah.
have to tell myself, you know what, this is all I have. Like it's just me and you
Mhm.
on. Do you know what I mean? Like
So-
it's not like survival.
A desert island. Can you imagine? Do you think that you can get stuck on a desert island and live to love somebody after being around them for 5? Let's say when you first met them, they were absolutely awful. Do you think
Well,
that it would develop into something?
I think you would find some kind of, because it's like any relationship, you go through stages, don't you? So I guess if you don't have that lustful feeling towards this person and you're stuck on a desert island and you're working together to survive, you're going to have that bond that may override all of the other crap that whilst we're in comfortability that we put so much emphasis on. So you never know, like through the hardest of times, I feel like you'll have the deepest of connections with people. And I think that's probably when you do fall in love with people. Like the true meaning of love is when you've been through complete shit. Sorry, am I allowed to swear?
Oh
When
yeah,
you've been,
yeah.
okay, when you've been through like a terrible time together and you come out the end of it with an understanding and a compassion for that person and for what they brought to that situation. I think that 100%, like just remove all
So
the. Mhm.
ha have you been married? Hey, AJ's back.
Mhm.
I want to ask you, have you been married before?
I was with my son's father for 8 years and we were engaged, but not married.
So, okay, because have you ever tried to love someone unconditionally besides your child?
Him. I never thought I was
Okay,
going to be with anybody else. I like couldn't
so
see myself with anybody else.
most of the time when the people that try to say, "Oh yeah, marriage is about love and love can this," and they toss around love and marriage, it's those who have never tried to love someone unconditionally,
Mm.
and so If you have before, you know that love doesn't come first.
No.
Respect comes first because I always say a lot of the time you have to cut the people that you've had to cut off, your friends and family. A lot of the times you still love them, and love isn't the reason why you can't be around them anymore. It's because it is something to lose your trust, your trust and respect.
Yeah.
And
But I
so,
think sorry,
mhm.
I was gonna say, I think like when you um love somebody unconditionally, you'll still always respect them. You'll still always act in a certain way. So that's where the unconditional part comes from. Like with your children, they can test your second nerve, but you still show up for them every single day. And
Yeah, but
so, mhm.
once again, the
Yeah,
child relationship is completely different
Yeah, no,
than
of
someone
course,
that, yeah.
100%. But what I'm saying is that that's where people get confused with this lustful feeling and the chemical dopamine dump that drops into their brain when they first get into a relationship. Then they're like, oh, I love you. That isn't the love. My point is that when you don't particularly like that person in that moment, you will still actively choose to respect them, and that is where it comes from, the place of love. That is love. Showing somebody respect is a form of love.
if you look at people who are divorced, oftentimes they still love each other.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They're just divorced, or even people who have relatives who are junkies, whatever. They
Yeah.
understand that they're loving them too much, and they have
Mm.
to set conditions because they're enabling through a love is actually negative. So those boundaries are actual love too. So love
Exactly.
is a constant. It's just the
Mm.
conditions that actually make it to be able to work and not work. And those conditions are what people don't understand. I don't think love is unconditional at all. And you would be foolish to actually give someone that much power in a relationship to say that unconditionally I will have some type of positive whatever emotion or whatever towards you. That's kind of grounds for disaster in my opinion.
I think that when you say somebody having control, I don't see control, like I don't see it as a power thing. Like somebody, my boundaries are a form of love to myself. So, and if that person also is in a space of I love that person, they would also respect my boundaries. So it's like that's why unconditional love is very hard to get to that space, because it takes two people in order for that um space of non-judgment and all of these things to actually manifest and actually be created. So I'm not saying that it's an easy like snap your fingers and da-da, but at the same time I do feel that there's a possibility and an ability for that to be able to be created.
I think what we're talking about is emotional intelligence,
Mm,
and a lot of people just don't have that these days. You know that's
100%.
not something that we teach. It's not something that we encourage. It's not something that's even celebrated. I actually watch. I don't know if over in England you guys watch that a blue face guy. He's that rapper guy with
Yeah,
him and his girlfriend.
totally.
That is. I didn't know who this guy was until like a week ago
Mm,
when there was this mini documentary, and they're a mess. Him and his girlfriend are a mess, but they're all over the place. They have social media and all this other stuff, and people think that that's love. You know what I
that's not
mean?
yeah,
No,
that's just
no,
too
no, no,
trauma.
no, 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 no. I would say black people think that's love. Oh, shots
That's
fired.
Wow.
facts too. Yeah. Well, do you guys have the term struggle love over in England?
Struggle
Or
love.
you heard
Yeah,
struggle love?
I've
yeah.
heard the term, but I think I've only heard it from an American.
Struggle
I've not.
love. All right. There.
Struggle
So
means struggle love means break up, make up, break up, make up,
yeah.
break up,
Mm,
make up. That's
Yeah,
what struggle
all
love
black
is.
love is supposed to be some fight. All my life I had to fight, like on the Color Purple. Like that.
Yeah.
That's what it means. And if you
mm,
go through, once you see it, you can't unsee it. If you look through Black American media, look at all the black films about relationships. Why did I get married? It's all about struggle love. It's about
mm.
she cheated on him, he cheated on him. The Best Man, that movie, Never Have a Series. It's all about lying and cheating and acting silly. There is no positive portrayals of black
Love.
relationships.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm gonna bring this back to China. I said it before, I'll say it again. One of the best parts about China is China moves like a man that wants to get married and have a family. And we need more examples of people like him in the on the black male side, because I remember one time he went on Pearl's show and he was talking about getting married, and people who were calling him a simp, and like I said to him afterwards, I think it was on Instagram Live or something. I said, bro, like when you achieve a certain amount, you, first off, let's not hide behind this red pill shield and act like most men still aren't going to get married. Number one. Number two, when you've achieved, like you can get married, you know, and so we need more people like him as a representative, and myself, and then AJ, aren't you? You're pretty high up there too, right? Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I'm a successful guy, but you still got to weigh the pros and the cons. But at the same time, there's one thing that I can say is, Kevin Samuels, he used to be called a simp too, because he was saying that there was a marriage cap to success. Most lawyers, doctors, surgeons, entertainers, whatever, they are married. I mean, there is a cap. Officers in the military, most men, if you get to a certain place and you're single, other powerful men don't see you as being
Mm,
responsible unless you're married.
I've heard
But
that. I've heard.
at the same time, that can trip you up because you married the wrong one, and
Mm,
your woman makes a fool out of you. You know what I'm saying? And it shows that she can't be on your program. That's even worse. You know,
the,
I know a guy. His uncle was a captain of a aircraft carrier in the Navy. And for you guys who don't know what that means that you're going to be fast tracked to being an admiral, which is like a big deal, right?
mm,
He was black. He was a black captain of an air force. I mean, of an aircraft carrier group. But his wife, who was black, couldn't get along with all the other officers' wives, talking all this mess, yada yada yada. So they passed him over, and he retired as a captain and not as an admiral. All
wow.
because his wife just couldn't put on a nice dress, drink some wine, just for those couple of hours. You know,
I've heard that. I've heard other people that are quite really successful say that that's been the deciding factor when making deals, how somebody talks about his family and his wife. He's been like, I know that he'll make a good like person in business because of the way he is with his family and the way he respects his family, and also it must be vice versa if he feels that strongly about his family unit, and how he was talking about his wife, how she helps in elevating him in his business and all of this stuff.
it in England with footballers, has there been has there been any cases where a team won't take a certain footballer because of his wife? Because in American football, there have been NFL players and NBA players who who've been refused contracts, or contracts have been rescinded because of their wives.
I can't say, I don't really follow football. I'm not really a
Okay.
football fan, so I don't I don't tend to get in like, and then I don't feel that the wives have that much input in terms of football over here. I know that in America it is very different than it is here, I feel. And yeah, and that would just be an assumption because I
Okay.
don't actually know.
Okay. Let's keep the reaction going here. I'm gonna hit the play button. Let's go.
Well, it's not like
Yeah,
survival instincts, but it's basically survival
but
instincts.
But
I'd be like,
also,
what, not to
like
say that I would sleep with him or something. I would just be like, you know what, mean you're gonna start
No, I
procreating.
would. We're on an
I hear
island.
you.
Shit.
Personally, I
We're
might not
forever.
get there because I'm a bit. I don't know. I've got my own personal tendencies. I just feel like I'm very like stern on, and I'm just like, yeah,
But
maybe
you'll
I
be on
get.
an island.
I know maybe we have fun.
Just on your
Maybe
own.
we have
This is
fun
for
and we
you.
do other
You're
things and
sad.
we explore the island and we create other
Yeah.
things, but not like that so fast away, like straight away. or
so
whatever.
Bex, what about you in your relationship? But if you wasn't, would you consider assisted marriage or relationship
Um,
help?
no, I wouldn't. I think it would be nice for everyone to have the option because I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought it was
Yeah, I was the same way. Before China brought up assisted marriage, I had no idea that it was a thing. So when he brought
Well,
that up, I was really glad.
the other girl with the hat on, I forgot her name, Miriam. She said that it's the same as arranged marriage. Because when people think of arranged marriage, they think of people being forced into, like, arranged marriage is meant to be like assisted marriage.
Well,
That's what she
I
was saying
think
in this.
I think one of the biggest differences between arranged marriage and assisted marriage is that assisted marriage you still have the right to say no, but like arranged marriage, in the good old fashioned days was you guys will get married, no choice. Maybe.
Okay.
All right.
But there was only arranged.
No, I didn't know. That's what I said. I've just learned
I think
about
that's the in
it.
between.
No, so assisted
I've
marriage is.
heard it. No. Can I
Yeah,
explain it?
yeah,
to
go
you?
on, please.
Because
Yeah.
assisted marriage is arranged marriage. Arranged marriage is not forced marriage. There's a difference.
Okay.
An arranged marriage is when you go to your family and like, look, I want to get married. What I'm doing is not working. This
Help
is
me.
the list of
Yes.
what I want. On top of
No,
that, let's keep it real.
no, because your family can arrange that marriage from when you're young, and then you
Yeah,
have to do it.
but that's
why
what
it's
she's
hard.
saying. But that's what she's
Yeah.
saying, that that's forced marriage when you're a young kid, and like families will make them two kids get married when they get to a certain age. She's saying that isn't meant to be how arranged marriage is.
But I thought historically it has been marriage based on an arrangement between two parties. Now we can say that people have more freedom now, yes, but historically
And
we can't take
biblically,
a new term and then kind of like muddy the waters of the old term. If you go around the world, most people would say there's a term called arranged marriage. I have Ethiopian friends, Eritrean friends, Pakistani friends who've done arranged marriages that I know of in my personal circle, and that means that they, from a young age, knew that you were going to marry once and such, and the culture of saying no is not there because they have that family obligation stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't say no to your parents, so it's
Yeah, I
not
hear
forced.
you.
Just no, no is not an option.
So then that is forced then. If no's not an option, that's forced.
yeah. So
I
it
guess, yeah, well, yes, but look, I'm
It's
an
not really, I
American.
guess.
American.
If no's
Well,
not an
no,
option, then it's forced.
listen. I don't have the sense of obligation to family that my Chinese friends, Korean friends, African friends do, where they do not say no to their parents culturally. So you could say that if that's the case, I have my friend who's Ethiopian. Her dad said you are going to go to law school, and she could not say no. So is she a forced lawyer now?
Yeah.
Like it's just not in their
I get that. I'm
culture.
half Nigerian, and I get the cultural elements of it. But at the same time, if you don't have the freedom of choice, it from your own perspective, whether it's like, okay, I'm doing it for my family, you then don't have a choice. So it is forced. It's based on your parents' expectation. It's then forced. It's not like I'm saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just an is. But at the same time, we can't say that they had choice because they don't. And that's okay, but because that's culturally how it is. I'm not saying it's good and it's not saying it's bad, it just is. But at the same time, we can't say that it's not forced because it is.
Okay, well, I'm gonna move on with the action because this is turning into a discussion more than a
Yeah,
reaction. And then
no worries.
China's looking for a little bit of feedback. So if you have any feedback on any of the delivery ideas, let's give it to him.
Or like if say you pick your partner, there's gonna be a point where you're gonna bring them home and you're gonna think, I want my parents to like you. If my dad doesn't like you, it's an issue.
Yeah.
So it's like avoiding all of that. They bring them in because and they also work out cool. Are they easily blending within our household, like certain things? Do you know what I mean? A forced marriage is when you're spoken for from a young age. So if you're young, they'll be like, cool, this person is going to marry this person when they hit this age because our families work. That's a forced. Arranged marriage is assisted marriage. It's just a coin term for it. Yeah.
Okay. And it's modernized a bit because if you notice, like,
We'll go and
have you
modernize
seen East
everything
is
now.
East and all of
Modern
them?
women.
Yeah,
East
yeah,
is
yeah.
East, they'll like wear something and reveal the woman
Yeah.
on the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But isn't
That's
isn't
old
But
school.
that's
different
culture.
cultures.
That's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
it's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So period.
But
So different
there's a-
people go
exactly.
through it. But the ultimate element is that the parents do the
So-
seeking.
Yeah, that's kind of what she is. We're just talking about how culturally it's different. So I guess some people can see it as forced, but then people don't see it because it's arranged. It's just that whole little gray area.
And then you all meet and you pick whether
And
you want
obviously, not
them or
everything
not.
is built on, like sanity. Some cultures and some like arranged marriages or
Mm.
assisted marriages are based on corruption. Not everyone's going to
Mm.
have the best interest. Some families are like, we're doing it for the money.
Why do people say like what is that? Some are based upon corruption. Like they throw out
It's a
these terms.
it's a
It's
mute
like
point, really.
yeah, and you're saying it like there's a large percentage of arranged marriages that are corrupt and evil. You see what happens when you just toss out terms like that? Like what?
Mm.
Or that guy he's got a good job, he's gonna put us on. There's other things that come. There's other things that come into it. Like obviously.
What about you? Because basically, he's a Pakistani guy and the girl is an English girl. And you know what's funny is because
ironic.
Do you know why it's funny? Is because it's complete cultural differences next door, but they're best friends, yeah. And she's a filmmaker as well, so she's a bit like, why are you trying to do this for? Like, why are you doing it? And she doesn't understand it, so she's now filming him the whole process of it, right? And I don't want to ruin it. It's a really good movie, but it literally speaks because it shows the stark contrast. She's on Tinder, literally going on dates, right? And she ends up meeting, and then he's literally like, he's tired of all of that. He's like, right, I can't pick, yeah. And I think sometimes we all have.
I have to see this movie because someone is on Tinder telling a person who wants to get an assisted marriage. How can someone on that's on dating apps and failing try and criticize someone who wants to try
because
something
we in
different?
the West think that our way is the best way to do everything.
Well, I think
Even
also
though
he originally, from what China said about the movie, originally the guy was also on Tinder trying his thing, and he was like, "Nah, this ain't working. I'm gonna go to my parents." So he'd already conformed to the Western way of dating and realized it wasn't working for him. So I think he already had a level of understanding that okay, this is just like it's not working.
Okay.
Have the luxury of picking, and if we keep picking wrong, at what point do we say actually maybe?
But I think there's an evolution in any relationship. The person that I chose when I was 19 is very, very different to the person I would choose now, because my evolution as a person on a conscious level.
You're not supposed to pick your partner though.
I have the universe has picked
No.
him for me.
What?
So I'll be real, yeah. So
No. Wait, guys.
The universe aligned me to this.
Yeah, I
person.
agree.
No. See, I'm surrounded by two spiritual lights.
always.
I don't. With the moon and the stars,
We're gonna
galaxy
bring you
lights.
some crystals in a minute and align you.
Look at China's head spinning.
The reason why I say this is right is like initially
You're too pragmatic to understand it.
no. So let me tell you what was initially happened and what's supposed to happen. Right, you're supposed to have your father in the home, a brother, or at least the uncle in the
I
home.
wouldn't
Right?
want somebody like my father.
No, wait, hold on. You're supposed to have a father in the home, your brother or your.
That doesn't say much about her.
And what happens
her dad,
is initially
right?
this is how it worked.
My dad. That was my father. Yeah. So I can explain.
Naomi is the girl next to China on this video, AJ.
Oh, dads can usually smell the.
Can I just give some context, because dads in general. Okay, so you have fathers who are somebody who you would look up to, and my dad was a crackhead, and had his own problems that he was unable to care and be that role model and that blueprint. So for me, he would not be the right person to choose anybody for anybody. So
yeah, and what you said doesn't say much about him. So you
100%. It's not.
Okay.
Of course. Like.
Okay. Agreed.
A limited amount of access to. It's called courting, not dating. Dating is a 1900 construct from America. We wasn't dating before. It's called courting. So what would happen is I would show my interest. I would make my interest known to you or to your father, and then what they would do, they would give me a limited amount of access to you. This access meant that maybe we could go and
you
remember,
the
word
to the malt shop.
It means that it was basically
you
can have a limited amount of access to a date with her or do.
Not only that, how that's done is dependent on the culture.
It's a vetting process.
Yeah, so this but this what would always happen if you look at, even if you look in the old American movies, you'll go out and you be like, Mr. Sams, can I take out your daughter? Yeah,
and that's true.
Is that his American accent?
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Samuels, can I take out your daughter?
Yeah.
You heard?
Up until the 70s, see, us guys, we react to the social rules that women set, and like up until the 70s, guys were perfectly fine with not having sex with a woman until marriage. having to meet your dad first, but women call that patriarchy and
Literally.
change the rules. Yep.
But
That's how it
okay,
was,
so
right?
oh, sorry. I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that a lot of women that are sitting on these panels and stuff were not the originators of the problem. So it's quite difficult sometimes when you're trying to get these. Me myself, when I was growing up, my mum was a single mother as well. So the generational cycles were hard and happening. My mum programmed me to think that I didn't need a man. So it's like up until a certain point when I was like, no, actually, guys, I definitely don't believe in all of these things that my mum and my grandmother and like had pushed. And so it's I feel that like it's definitely something that needs to be a change that happens from women again, because it's women that nurture children from the ages, like the nurturing part, relationship part, especially with boys, is so important for that change to
You
happen.
gotta
Agreed.
understand that being black in the United States, our culture up until the '60s, we were married at a almost 90% clip. So we didn't have out of wedlock births. We had communities. We made it through slavery, Jim Crow, Reconstruction, all this stuff because we have communities, right?
But
So
breaking
it's
up the
what's
sorry,
that?
go on. No, I was going to
Yeah,
say
and
breaking up the black families has been something that America, the top people in America that have wanted to do for forever now. Obviously, it's
yes,
just
but
got
they
easier
didn't
and
manage
easier
to
with the
do it until the '60s. Like Black Americans know how to be together.
in the
Our
last
history has not been fractured. It's only been the last 40, 50 years that this has been an actual
in
thing.
the last 20 years, the levels of testosterone in men have halved. It's gone down 2.8%, 86% every single year in the last 20 years. It's easier to manipulate a man with lower testosterone.
Yeah, but
So, and break up families, it's
No,
easier.
no,
Women
but
giving
look,
birth to boys that have got genetically now forever, their testosterone levels will never
I'm
change. Women are giving
uh,
birth to
I,
well,
I,
I guess the
I'm gonna
point.
I'm gonna sum this all up because it's almost been an hour and we're only 20 minutes in.
oh god.
What the testosterone argument? The biggest part about it is men need purpose.
Hmm.
Okay, and with feminism, it's it it's destroyed the most blatant way for a man to have a purpose. Okay,
100%.
like society was built on men sacrificing our lives and our bodies for the betterment of everybody else,
Yeah.
and women have muddied those waters. So we just have to figure out how men can have their purpose. And I think that
100%.
and that's it. I mean, you
But I
can talk
definitely
about
think that all the elements together combined, women, I feel, found it easier to do that because of other elements. I don't think it's just a one element. I definitely think feminism is a cancer to feminism, which is mad. Like it's ruined feminism. It's ruined it. Like women can't no longer be women. We're forced
So
so.
my
into.
mom,
Oops, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Oh,
Naomi.
oh no, I was saying that women are forced into these really masculine spaces that it's so outside of our what we're meant to be, that's why women are burnt out all the time, like, because we're not meant to be doing the shit that we're doing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Let me get the fit started again.
mom says
Yeah.
she wants to date my mom for me.
What's that?
So they would date my mom before they would go on
Yeah,
a
the
date with
guy.
my
Yeah.
mom before. Because I'll tell you straight, I cannot pick them. Like
Okay,
I've picked
so but
horrifically.
essentially, so this is what's supposed to happen. Men are supposed to be in the home, right? Because what happens is I'll show my interest, then your brother or your dad will say, okay, cool.
Another
You
good
can
thing about
have a limited
China,
amount of access to
he has one volume to his voice,
That's true. Yeah.
my
which
daughter,
is
and that
good because
access.
he's direct, right? You know, but like you could always tell. I could recognize his voice, like because he has the same volume and the same cadence and the same tone, and no matter what, if he's angry, calm, upset, it's the same dude.
And
Literally, that's so
and
true.
I like when China does that. No, 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 no. It's the best. It's the best. Like when someone is trying to cut him off, he's like, no, 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 stop, no, 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 no. Like it's the best. I love it.
Of my
Mm.
daughter is just to show her that your interest, right? After that, what you're supposed to do is basically say that I want your daughter and you're going to propose to my daughter, right? See, men can smell the bullshit in other men. Whenever you meet women, whenever you're dating a girl, you meet the woman. The mother's always gonna like you. The aunties are always gonna like you. That's how it is. It's quite rare
But the
that when you
dad can
meet a
smell the
woman,
bitch on the guy.
And also, just game for the women. Most of the time, if you're a good woman and the mom still doesn't like you, it's because her son is a son husband. So, like, it's a red
Yeah,
flag.
I agree.
If you know if you know you're a good woman and you meet a black dude and his mom can't stand you from when she first looks at you, they have an unhealthy relationship. Run, ladies, run away.
Hey Naomi, did you see the video of the black guy in the United States, and he pulls up to pick up his wife, and his mom's sitting in the passenger seat, and his wife's like, "What are you doing?" And his mom's like, "You better get in the back." This is, and she's like, "I'm his wife. I'm supposed to sit in the front." Girl, I'm the most important woman in his life. You see that?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Or did you see that one TikTok where that ladies kept answering her 17-year-old son's phone when his girlfriend would try to call and be like, "You
No,
need to
that's
stop."
bad.
Oh yeah.
My
Anyway.
thing is though, with the whole sitting in the front of the car, I'm really, really, really close to my son's dad's mum. Like I've known her since I was 19 years old, so like we're really close. If we were going somewhere, I would always sit in the back out of respect because she's old and elder. So whether I'm his wife or whatever, any other time, I'm not getting in the back of the car. But for his mother, she birthed him. I respect her for that. Like
You're like a real one because my wife always sits in the passenger seat. Unless my mom were to have like a disability or something, I don't know. Like but I guess we're all different. I guess I can see that respect, but keep it going.
She's gonna automatically dislike you because you're a man as well. And if for the men that lie, and most men lie and they're good at lying, they can easily sweeten up your mother.
Yeah,
but when you meet the father or the brother or the uncle, we can see it already.
There's levels,
So
there's
a lot of times when you girls complain about your exes or your men and they're like, "Oh, he cheated," I'll take one look at him and say, "Of course he was gonna cheat." I could.
That's a good one.
He was gonna cheat. Couldn't you see that? But if your brother got introduced to him, he could have saw that. He could have smelt the bullshit a mile away. And another thing, when you have family members, strong male figures in the home, it stops a lot of bullshit that happens in your home because men know how to act right around people. So the reason I'm saying this is because it goes back to the thing that there's no fathers in the home. There's no brothers, or the brothers that have been over feminized where they just let any man come and date their sister and they don't say nothing about it.
I think that's true to a degree though, because like my
parents can you pause it really fast? My sister, she has never had my dad meet any of the guys she's dated, right, in her whole life, and I think that's why she's never really had a good relationship in her whole life, and she's like older than I am. You know what I'm saying? But like, she just never ever thought the fact that she was one of the few black daughters to have a father in the United States in the home and to use him as a resource. That's crazy. I was just thinking.
Okay. Hey Naomi, if you still want to chat, there's the private chat on StreamYard, but that's separate from the YouTube. So bring up the YouTube in a separate window and chat that way.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah,
I don't think I'll have to get my. I don't think I can have them both on my phone though, can
I? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Okay.
Together. They've been together for 30 odd years. My grandparents were together. They've sadly lost one each side now. But my dad came from, and I won't speak too tough on this, but my dad came from a family of not really much love given. So I knew my dad loved me. There was no question of that. But I wasn't used to like a cuddle off my dad. And then that kind of, we've come a long way. My dad's been to therapy as well. Like we've broke the cycle now. But as I've gone and navigated life with men, I've taken that cold behavior as normal.
Okay.
So I can sit here and say I've loved, but I've never been in love when I'm 30 years old.
Thing about it is normal though.
What's normal? Sorry.
Like kind of like a cold, not exactly a cold demeanor, but a man just kind of saying, "Hey, hey, hon, how's it going?"
Not
Not
with their
saying
daughters though. With their sons, yeah, but with their
no,
daughters,
but
I've seen
but
men
but
dope
she
each other.
she she, she was talking about now that she's navigating with men in like
In
a relationship
relationships,
sense.
yep.
She thinks that that kind of coldness is not normal. She said that, but what I'm saying is it should be normalized though,
But she's
because
talking about intimacy. So she's talking like she said that she struggled with like physical touch from men because her dad didn't display that intimacy, like like a hug or a cuddle if you're sad or whatever it is, how a man displays that. She then didn't know how to receive that in her relationship
oh,
because it
I s-
wasn't displayed from a man, because that's where you get how you view a man. So if a man's not, if your father isn't very affectionate and you're not a naturally affectionate child, like even me, when I got to like in my 20s, I wasn't very affectionate because I hadn't had that from my parents. It was only when I had my children that I became really, really, really affectionate, especially with my son, because my son's very like no, like he just loves
see
physical touch.
see I'm the opposite. I'm a physical touch kind of person
Mm,
in a relationship, in a marriage, only because my parents didn't show that much to me. I don't. So I I have a list of things I wish my parents would have did, and I do them in a relationship.
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
I think a
I
lot
guess
of it's cultural too, because I don't know if anyone has any friends that are like Russian or like Finnish or whatever, but they're like the coldest people
yeah,
Yeah.
that there
that's
are.
true.
Whereas like we're all black, right? Now, I mean, you are black, right? You
Yeah.
classify yourself to be. I don't
I
know
get
you,
the pass.
but I'm just saying, like, or like my one friend, he's black, but his wife is Japanese. She
Mm.
says Japanese. I'm not gonna do it. I actually said Japanese men are so boring. Black people are so much more fun and
Fun.
welcoming.
That's
Mm.
true.
I go to my in-laws' house and they're like, "Hey," and they give me a big hug. Whereas Japanese people are very cold. So
But
Yeah.
I did this course, and the woman was Chinese, and she was talking about that lack of intimacy and love being physically shown between, which is a cultural thing. But for a development of a child to display healthy relationship styles as they're older, it is an essential part to have a secure attachment style. It is an essential part. Like my son is very okay with communication, he's very okay with physical touch, so I know when he's a husband he's going to be okay, and a father he's going to be okay with all those things.
Okay. Okay. Let's get this going there.
I've never felt that in love thing because I've found these wrong people that are quite cold, and I'm giving them everything because that's what I've learned.
That's not love.
And then I've felt this
Being cold is not wrong though.
like unbearability, not being able to be with them, and felt completely brokenhearted. But now I'm very open about people. Like if I date, I will speak to my mom and my friends and say this is what he's about, because I've been through what I've been through. I need to be kept in the lanes and not wave off or maybe slip into that self-doubt or self-esteem where I'm slipping again. Like I have to be kind of like they'll say, don't think so, or like,
Doug, if
why
you
did you say that? Or
I think
you don't
it's
have to say
pause,
that.
pause it
You
really
keep
fast.
Go ahead.
I think that and Naomi, you've been on Pearl's show.
Mhm.
Maybe it's just the way China is, but I haven't heard a lot of buzzwords and like silly woo-woo crap on this show
You
so
didn't hear
far.
me before.
No,
I
no,
was
no,
talking about
no,
the
no,
universe.
no. You've seen some of the knuckleheads on Pearl's show, right?
Yeah,
And see,
Yeah, yeah.
and also
Well,
Naomi,
see,
okay, so all of these
you don't
people
say words like I mean, you say energy, but you don't say stuff like vibe
the reason I
and
say energy is because at the moment you start using God, it's just loads of different. It's the same thing, but just a different word. Some people use the word God. Some people use the word energy. Some people use the word spirit. It for me is like when I'm like, oh, the universe is going to align me. That's what I mean. That God will bring my man to me, whatever it like. So like I make it just more general so that people don't think I'm some like spiritual woman trying to bash them with my spiritual stick. Um, and so yeah, I do hear that. But with China, I think on this show, no, I don't think I know on this show, he specifically chose these people. And because it's his first show, he's curated the people so that it is a good conversation. Whereas 100 Pearly Things and the other ones, they're doing that many shows. You can't be as intentional behind the people that you have on your show.
okay,
yeah,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
and people come in blind. Like they've never
Yeah,
met
the
the people.
first time I
Yeah,
went, the first day I went, I got my friend Handles. You've probably seen him on there as well.
yeah.
He was the one that invited me the first time. He was like, yeah, yeah. I saw him on it. I was like, yo, I want to come, because I just like talking. And so I went, and I was like, what the fuck did you get me involved in? But I really enjoyed it because it could have been triggering if I hadn't have done as much work as I have done.
Okay.
Keeps me accountable as well. Like, make sure that I'm staying with my self-esteem high, and I'm putting myself in front of the right people, and not following a pattern of a decade of absolute hell.
I think with everything, there's pros and cons, yeah. And that assisted marriage, right. The pros, I think, is that the family being involved, that vetting process and that shortlisting process, is less emotional. So you're not like, because you're gonna go for like instantly like image, looks, and spark. The family will balance that out with criteria. But if it goes too extreme with the criteria and political agendas or financial agendas are going through, it could go wrong, because they might just pick someone because, like you said, their family's good or they're rich or whatever. Another thing is some cultures, it's not like two individuals getting married, it's two families getting married. It's a union of two families.
Facts.
Let's see in the bigger picture.
I was gonna say that my office mate at my old job, he was Eritrean, and he said that when they get married, let's just say that like Doug and Pierre, you and Naomi are gonna marry. Your families vet each other back 3 generations to see if there was anyone that was like a criminal, anyone that had any mental health issues, anyone that had a child out of wedlock, anything that was like off brand, right? And if that happened, you guys couldn't get married. So they vet each other like all the way back for years and years. And then before the actual courting process even starts, it's crazy.
Oh, all right.
And then lastly, there's things like stereotyping and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be the first to admit, it's gonna sound mad though, but so like I got like face tattoo and tattoos, gold teeth, whatever. But I wouldn't want my daughter bringing a guy with face tattoos and teeth.
That's
Nothing wrong with
honesty
that.
right there, man. I
That was
know.
what.
When he said that, I was like, that is real.
Even
No,
though
that's
I've got
cool.
it.
Yeah, that's real.
So now I'm gonna probably stereotype the brother and say, nah, like left that.
Why would you do that though? If you know that you're, unless you,
because I feel like I'm an exception, but I don't think like everyone that looks at me is.
So guys, I want to take it on. Did you want to say something?
And I'm sorry, man. You got the face tats. You're lost. Like I'm in a position to, I'm just saying, if I were to ever be, I'm in the professional world now, but if I were to ever be in a position to have to hire like regular people and they had face tattoos, you're already lost to me, dude. Like I don't.
Everyone has to choose a struggle. I'm black in America. I have a hard enough time walking around here without making my life harder by putting tattoos on me.
I think also it depends in the space in which you decide to reside. So like if you're in the creative world, having a face tat's not going to stop you from getting.
Yeah,
only a small percentage of people exist in the creative world.
But if you see most of the people with face, but if you see most of the people with face tattoos, they're either tattooists, artists, that kind of world. Like you very
but
rarely
there's people
see
who want to advocate and say that I should be able to get my law degree and go to work at Naomi Associates Law with a face tattoo. And you're like, well, no, because we have clients that are multi-million-dollar clients, and they will not. It'll look bad on me in the law sphere if you have a tattoo on your.
100%. I'm agreeing with you. What I'm saying is you'll very rarely find those people that say those things because they don't want to be lawyers. Like you're very rarely going to find somebody with loads of face tattoos that's like, you know what, I really want to be a lawyer.
Yeah, I think that we're all agreed on that. I'm just going to sum it up and say, look, don't get face tattoos, period. And if you do, make sure you're at where you want to be first. How about that?
100%. Even my hand tattoo has prevented me from getting certain roles because.
Or start your own business and hire only people who have face tattoos.
No, because I do TV stuff. So I mean, I get paid lots and lots of money to do TV stuff. So I will have my own business one day. I do have a business, but it's in
No,
certain
I
other
was
areas.
saying in general, not Matthew.
Oh no, but I
Because-
probably, but the thing is, I wouldn't not hire somebody because they have face tattoos. Like that's me
I
personally.
would 100%.
I would.
I would
Sorry.
not hire 100% of the people that came across my desk. If you had a face tattoo, I'd ask you 1-2 questions and then kick you out the door. But
But
that's
it
just
would
me.
also depend on the type of business that I was
No,
doing. If
no,
I
no,
was
no,
doing,
Naomi. I'm just gonna stop right here and say, me personally,
mm,
like I know it all depends, but me personally, and I advocate on my channel, if you're, unless you're a creative, which is only the minority of people, it would not serve you well down
no,
with us regular folk to get a face tattoo or hire people with face tattoos.
100%. I hear
Keep
you.
going.
The reason why statistically as well, off the back of your statistics, that arranged marriages do better or they actually last in comparison, do you get it? It's because I think it comes down to two things. I think it comes down to intention from the man, firstly, because when a man is serious and he wants to really get married, he's going to go and do what he needs to do.
That's facts.
And secondly, I think it comes down to your relationship with your parents.
Yeah.
Because like I was
Yeah.
engaged. Do you get it? Like I was
You're bigger
engaged
than
with
more
it.
than
I was
just
engaged
just
and
yourself.
I didn't get to the point where he met my dad up just until just before that. And then when he met my dad, like speaking to him and even speaking to my parents are divorced. So I've got two different perspectives. But they showed me so many things that I didn't see or I missed out. And my dad always, my dad, like when he met him, he was like, look, like I'm the bridge. I'll give you the green light when I think you're ready. He was like, love's not always enough. And that was the realest shit. So for me, it's like, I'm pro arranged marriage. I'm pro find your own partner. But I think it really comes down to, are you ready to get married? Do you really want
The partner word. Can we stop? I'm gonna keep going.
to get married? Trust and have that good open connection with your parents enough to think they're gonna bring you someone that you can vibe.
Just before we move on, I was gonna say like a lot of the reasons why I was gonna say people might have a higher statistics on arranged marriages or assisted marriages because it's a respect thing. Like at the end of the day, you've already gone to the family, so it's like, are you not gonna come correct? Like, my mum, my dad. So it's kind of like if someone's gonna crumble, this is the time to crumble and break. It's like if you go and crash under pressure, you go and crash now. Like so I feel like it's
Can you pause it
a lot
really
of things.
fast?
Yep, go
I
ahead.
think that the respect thing that a lot of women don't really understand, like men, and the fact that like, look, when men, we do this where we size each other up, right? So if we go to the bar, most men, we go and we size up all the dudes in the bar and say, look, like we could probably whoop these dudes. These dudes are a little drunk, so we're gonna size up the situation, and then we're gonna. That same thing kind of applies when a guy is dating a girl and then he meets her dad, right? The two kind of
100%.
size each other up, and it's we're animals, right? In general, so like we have a thing where, and there's so much unspoken things that happen when a guy meets a guy that's with his daughter. It's
Yeah.
a territory, yes, and this is why they honestly thought this whole thing was patriarchy. But fathers, their daughter is part of the pack, is part of their territory, right? And they don't like strange dudes trying to encroach upon their territory that they don't think deserve to be there. And now you can see that as a bad thing, but people don't understand. Fathers would die for their daughters, right? So you got to be darn tootin' to understand. Like, look, my dad sized this guy up and was like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Something about this guy doesn't make me think that I can trust him to defend my daughter, this person I've been protecting for all these years, and that's a big deal, you know.
Yeah, 100%. I even see it through like with male friends, like when you introduce one like group of male friends to another group of male friends, because I've got like this tribe of friendship group, and then I've brought like other people into the tribe, and you can see the testosterone, like, and I just like watch them, and like you can see like the alphas like sizing up this person to see if they're actually okay to be in the group. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Let's get this going.
Go.
Yes.
And at the same time, if they're gonna disrespect, first of all, the disrespect's not coming straight to you. It's going to your family,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like you're gonna disrespect my mum and my dad,
Yeah.
like because
The whole family
get it?
name,
So I
the
feel like
heritage.
the person that would be coming
Yeah.
to you, they're gonna have to be serious. Like
It's
you
like,
said,
you know,
like if
like
you're not,
now-
then it's gonna fuzz her out.
Our modern day version is asking your dad's permission for your
Yeah.
their marriage, but that's it. You just have a one conversation with your
Yeah.
pops after you've been done,
Mhm.
as if you didn't even need the permission. Like
Yeah.
for me, that's mad.
So I think what we're gonna say.
I'm just gonna. This is rhetorical, but I wonder because I've seen this girl on the left here. I'm not even trying to diss. Like, why did she show up in a tracksuit with a do rag on and like
I think she wears like a hijab. I think she covers her hair because I think it's a.
Oh, that's a hijab.
But she doesn't have a proper hijab. It's not like the wrapped hijab, but in
With the
most of her
girl
videos,
on the left.
yeah, she will have a
in
lot
the hat.
in a
And,
lot
you know,
of her videos. She has like she wears it like a scarf, but draped over her hair,
'cause
and so you don't really see her hair very often. So I'm guessing that's.
I'm not
my
even trying to
assumption.
diss, but like, why she's wearing like a tracksuit
Mm.
and like a Yankees hat, and like it looks like a do-rag coming out the back. So I don't know, man. That was bothering me the whole time. You know, what
Yeah, that's why when she said conscious, so we have a lot of these like woke white girls over here that try to quote unquote only date black guys. So they'll like try and wear do rags and tracksuits and try and be like, yeah,
get the hair braided and stuff.
what, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. I'm not saying that that's this girl, but you know, that was kind of what
I'm
that's
not
where
trying to
my mind went.
disrespect. I'm not trying to disrespect, but it's just bothering me.
China told me don't come looking homeless, Naomi, because I will fully rock up on live with my headscarf on. I do not care. He was like, Naomi, because I posted a picture of me going out, and he was like, yo, who's this Naomi? We never get this Naomi. So I was like, okay. I won't look homeless for your podcast. I promise.
Awesome. Yeah, Naomi showed up. All right.
A lot of guys are shook. Sorry, let me just say that. Like a lot of guys are actually scared to address a parent, especially like to talk to someone's dad, like man to man, macho energy. Like, you know what I mean?
They
Even to
should
like
be.
like what you said, they can smell the bullshit if it's bullshit.
So I think when it comes to arranged assisted marriage, what we're gonna say, there's pros and cons. It works for some people, culture for some people, but I don't think we should ever write it off as something because the actual statistics prove that it does work, but it's actually probably not for everybody.
Who does DV? Someone specialized. You, yeah. So I was gonna say a lot of victims in DV might like
survivors.
Yeah, keep it quiet to save the honor of the family.
Yeah,
and not like because the pressures, the external pressures of the family. So
But-
that would raise.
But while you're speaking about that, I'm gonna take it to the Mason Greenwood situation, and the reason I want to speak about it is because I spoke about it online.
Oh,
You know,
this is actually a footballer.
Okay, so you know Mason Greenwood, the footballer. So I'll explain it to you. The 21-year-old Manchester striker footballer. Some people are basically saying
hard charge thing.
Yeah, so SA charge. So basically, essentially, there was a video that went back about over a year and a bit ago. Discussing video of him essentially being in an SA situation with his missus. It's come out. It's gone viral.
We're gonna skip forward because I have
essentially.
We're gonna skip forward because I'm American and I have no idea about this guy or this guy's case. So,
Okay,
like,
so
I don't really.
I hadn't known about it before.
Yeah, and so
that
I don't even want to
con-
comment on it, and
Yeah.
so let's move forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, and-
so you
and
can't
this
sit there and say, "Oh, well, he's."
In fairness, I think
It goes on for quite a while.
Oh, just anyone that's in an essay or in a DV type
Some
of
people like, you know,
situation, male or female, please get help, get out. You know what I mean? Find a way. You know, but I just want to give that public service announcement because DV is not cool, man, and it happens both genders to both. You know what I'm saying? So just yeah.
And sent us, so they probably just back controversy.
But he will run out the window, whether it happened or not, whether it comes.
But Chris hid it, and then looked on money and getting and he walked out with not. I didn't even have like to somebody is not somebody else.
There's definitely various angles.
Well.
Definitely various, like you said, story. There's side 1, side 2, and then the most entertaining version. And most people gravitate.
I think this is where this is.
Andrew Tate supporters will advocate for it, and
But it's still talking about
what
the
it
same
was,
topic.
but everyone crazy, and you're like, I ain't too crazy.
I would
No,
just
this is
go
the next
like
step of crazy.
like
So
5
that's
more
what I'm trying to
minutes,
talk about
man.
in this.
Forward.
masculine men wouldn't do.
That's not masculine energy, though. If you look at
It's
the
toxic
definition,
masculinity.
Yeah, but
not
it's
even
language.
Toxic and masculinity cannot go in the same
Okay,
sentence.
okay.
Go back a little bit.
Whoa, who said that? Hold
Yeah.
on, hold on. We
Yeah.
can't skip over that. That is
Yeah.
so true. Toxic.
Yeah,
and
I wanted to cover
masculine.
that part. We're
I
we're
said
gonna get
that.
to it. We're gonna get to it.
Spiritual
Hold on, hold
Lighty
on,
said
hold on,
that.
hold on. We're gonna get to it, okay? So, because I forgot the mark. I had it wrote it down, but I don't remember where it is. So we'll start from here.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Catch you on the rebound.
Yeah,
I didn't
okay.
even know what that meant. I had to Google.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So let me-
What does it mean? I
Yeah.
didn't know
So
what it
let's
meant.
use this example, right? She's come on a platform and
Okay.
she's been asked.
I want to talk about this. So let's get back here because they start
The
talking
woman.
about that crazy woman. Yep.
Yeah. I
You're being
love King
told
Riches
that
now,
basically to
though.
stay away from someone's man,
Makes me
or
laugh.
so you think someone's has seen your man, right? I want to talk about modern women and not being able to take no from answer from men and from women. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So I want to talk about how she's gone and done this and been crazy. When girls say I'm crazy and you're like, I ain't too crazy. No, this is the next type of crazy. So that's what I'm trying to talk about in this show.
I think this probably would have happened to her at some point anyway, because if you've got that level of snap, it would have happened at some point. Like nobody, like I've been what you would deem as crazy when I was younger, and I might have keyed your car, but I wouldn't have stabbed anybody up. So like
Naomi, come on.
What? I mean, I was saying like the I'm making you car, but I'm not gonna stab you up. Like there's levels to crazy, right?
Oh,
And this
okay.
girl stabbed somebody up because
Mhm.
she's like that's a whole nother and then filmed it. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother level. Like writing in someone's car is a different. That's like no. That's like there's levels to crazy, isn't there? When you're dating crazy people.
And you know what's the worst part about it is, you're talking to two guys here, and like we just have to accept the fact that women can say that type of stuff. If I were a guy and say, hey, sometimes it's okay for guys to, I mean,
No,
come
no,
on.
no. I wasn't
Yeah,
saying
to
it's
stalk you
okay.
and go to your house and kick
What I
in your
was saying.
door.
Okay,
I'm
so
a
what
little
I
bit
was,
crazy.
I wasn't saying that it was. So in the context of this conversation, I don't promote crazy on either side. You should have two emotional, mature humans that can communicate without resorting to violence, full stop, whether it's keying someone's car, any level of it. But what I was saying in this instance, what he was talking about, this young girl, because he was like calling her crazy, and I'm like, that isn't crazy, that is beyond crazy. What people usually say, oh, the bitch is crazy, she would have gone and keyed somebody's car, not stabbed somebody up.
Yeah,
Was
well,
my point of that.
and I think once, because you're trying to get down to like understanding as to like the whole crazy thing, because the before this, the girl next to you, the DV person, she was talking about how or maybe she talks about it later, but she talks about how
Yeah.
she gets offended when people talk about label someone as crazy. And my only problem with her is I understand that her industry is like survivors and stuff, but you can't expect the world to like everybody to understand what you've been through, what you're going through. If they choose to do that, because if I were here, I would have told that woman, I really appreciate the fact that you're like on this platform, but you cannot navigate through life. Like people have to understand your work and your experience, especially guys that you date. And I think before this and a little after, she just goes off on this long tirade about her work and what she does. And that whole time I was thinking, okay, but as a guy that's trying to date you, like, you know what I'm saying?
What I was, and it touches on what I was saying about the King Richards thing. Like, as I can't tell somebody how to receive what I'm gonna say.
Mhm.
So as long as I'm respectful and I can acknowledge, oh, okay, you may not have liked the way I've said that, but at the same time, you can't go through life micromanaging how you say something or what you're going to say, just in case it may trigger somebody out there. Because something, like I said, when I've been on Just Pearly Things, there's so many things technically I could get triggered by people saying, oh, because I'm most of the things, I fit into all the categories that they say makes me undateable, right?
Yeah, you do.
But guess what? That's not my reality. So
But
I'm
the thing
okay.
is, we even
I'm
have the
okay
word.
with hearing these things
Mhm.
because I understand that everybody is allowed their perspective, and that's okay.
But
What
we
were you
even
saying, AJ?
have this term triggered, right? Like we live in the West, and I've traveled a lot. And I mean, you're Nigerian. I'm assuming. Sorry if I'm assuming is that you've been to Nigeria, right? Like a lot of places around the world, they have
Hmm.
better things to worry about than being triggered. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, especially the United States, you have so little to worry about that a tweet or an Instagram post is gonna make you have an emotional reaction. That is clown world. That is
That's
absolutely insane.
it's true. It's 100% true. If I can, so if I'm communicating with somebody and I care about, like, if they're within my inner circle, and I can see, especially with my children and stuff, I won't purposefully be mean if I don't need to be. So it's like I have a level of emotional intelligence that I'm able to navigate that quite effectively.
Well, I'm gonna
But if I
interrupt
was
you
in
and
a
saying,
different country, it
I'm
it I
gonna
w- Mhm.
I'm gonna interrupt you by saying, over here, so I'm all about that petty life. So I let other people determine if I'm gonna get petty or not, and I can get pretty petty. So like I'm not mean to someone unless they cross a line. And so I just have to if you're one of those people where people can cross the lines and you don't get mean, more power to you. But over here, we live that petty life.
Do you know why I don't? Because most of the time it affects you more than it affects them. So like it's like I
I can't
don't
agree there.
have the
Not over here, it
time.
doesn't.
I don't have the time to spend being bothered by anybody else but what I need to be doing for me and who's within my space. So if somebody says something to me, I'm just like, that's okay. Like, whatever. Like, it's not going to affect my day. It's not going to affect my trajectory. It's not going to affect the people that I love. So I really don't care that much. I just don't care.
Let's get the video started up again.
Level of crazy, I feel that she probably would have stabbed somebody up at some
Okay,
point.
let me use another one, right? Has everyone seen the recent show on Poe's show with King Richie and the mob boss in the red? Has everyone
mob
seen
boss.
it? The mob boss, yeah, mob wife. Yeah.
Catch you on the rebound.
Yeah,
I didn't
okay.
even know what that meant. I had to Google.
All right, cool. So
Like, what does it mean? I
Yeah,
didn't know
so
what it
let's
meant.
use
First off, I've been to T's channel and listened to her rap, and it sucks.
this example, right? She's come on a platform and she's been asked to leave. She doesn't like the fact that she's been called bro, and
And she appropriates black culture, but she hates black men apparently because she's coming at King Rich is all crazy.
that she's entitled to that fact, right?
Who
She's
could
entitled-
I think there was
obviously
no
kick the
elements to
shit
it.
out of
Yeah.
her too.
Yep.
Is it
No,
that shit?
But what I want
I
to focus on the fact is the fact that it doesn't. She made a threat to him on air.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
On air.
What did she say?
She's threatened him and said that she's gonna she's gonna call man and shit. I'll get you smoked. Oh, something
Yeah,
about
run
body.
Oh, she
down.
did say she would
Run him
smoke him
down.
herself.
No,
She
but
did said,
but then
she said,
yeah.
I
To be
would-
fair,
I-
to be fair, she did say, "Oh, look, I don't smoke it myself." Because
yeah,
Period.
she was like, if I wasn't
Nah,
PR, she
she's
said something like, if I wasn't in
she's
PR,
some
I would have smoked it
Moroccan.
myself.
She's some Moroccan rapper from West London, Labrador, bro. And she got a hell of a lot of blue ticks and man them in the
Clown show.
comments like, "Yo, bro, you can't come around here." And but the reason what I'm trying to say is
It was intense.
And China sums this up perfectly. Just watch.
it was very intense,
But
right?
I feel like there was, like you said, there was a lot of things going on.
But why is it? No, the question is I see the double standard and the misandry against men every single day.
Yep.
We had a woman that made a threat against a man on a platform, and she felt like it's okay. You have a
It's all
woman.
too easy though.
You have a woman that has gone and poured hot water on a girl and stabbed her and put hot water basically on her. And I'm talking about. So when we're talking about feminine energy and when we're talking about masculine energy, these women are exhibiting the most extreme. Even masculine men wouldn't do.
That's not masculine energy, though. If you look at the
toxic
definition,
masculinity.
Yeah, but
not
it's
even
language.
Toxic and masculinity cannot go in the same
Okay,
sentence.
okay.
It's just toxicity.
Okay.
Full
So,
stop.
but essentially,
Yeah. Well, good job, Naomi. You're all
Thank
right.
you. I'm all right.
what I'm trying to talk about. I'm trying to talk about women, women and accountability, and also that thing where I'm crazy. And,
Yeah, but
Take
it's
it back.
language
Go
though,
on, yeah.
because you've just done it.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm sat here with a mental health condition. So I take great disrespect in that word crazy, because I'm not crazy. I'm therapized. I've been to therapy. I'm diagnosed. I'm very stable. I don't take any
Who's
medication.
talking
But if I
about her
turned to somebody
anyway?
and said, "Oh, I've got,"
Yeah, that's one thing. I'm hoping that you've noticed this too. And China's really good about this, and and King Rich is getting good at it too. You gotta
China says no one Who's talking to you?
Yeah.
Is that
You
your
gotta
British
stop.
I'm not talking to you.
You gotta stop making it about yourself because like women automatically say, "Well, I don't," and
Yeah, and it's
and
like it's not about you.
yeah, and that's one of the I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. Like this lady that's in DV, like, sorry, man, like you can. The people on the panel, they'll hear you, but no one owes you I mean, it's nice if they give it to you, but no one owes you understanding. So I can sit on that panel and say, I acknowledge your experience, but so, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But once again, petty life over here.
Got a mental
gang
health
gang.
condition, the first thing they're going to think is she's crazy.
Mm.
Whereas for myself, women who don't get therapy or undiagnosed are running around with all this energy that you're talking about. That's crazy to me because
Mhm.
I think it's a language thing. It's not a behavior thing. Like if you don't like being called bro, cool, that's your prerogative. But people, how many times do you say, "Oh, I've got PTSD from that"? Like I have PTSD, and please believe that if you had PTSD, you would not
Hold
use
on,
that
guys.
language.
I'm gonna
think
go
also
in my
like
closet and find my
One
violin.
thing, the irony of the whole thing.
Oh shit.
All that, huh?
Yeah, because I didn't know what they were talking about when I was on Alive.
Mm.
Then I went back. Well, you told me where to look.
Yeah.
So I went back and looked. And it was totally different to how it was made out to be. Firstly, right, the irony is she used the word bro more than anyone else on that podcast.
That is facts, man. That
Yeah,
was facts.
but
But her
I,
thing
Yeah.
wasn't that she got
No,
called
but
bro.
second,
She got
the context, yeah. She seems like with her accent and the way she was talking, it was cruddy. Like she was on road, like she's from road. So she seems like a girl.
Just for the Americans that are gonna watch this or are watching this, road means being poor.
no,
Oh, I
it
was gonna say,
doesn't. No,
what
no,
does
no, no, no,
from
no,
road
no, 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 no,
mean?
no, 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 no. Road does not mean being poor. Road means like you're on the streets, like you could be doing gang stuff. Doesn't
Ah,
Oh,
necessarily
so we
mean
have the
poor,
translator here.
because you can be poor and still not be on road. You could be like you just poor. But road, if you're road, like I grew up poor, but I've never been road. You can tell by the
So
way I
that's like the
speak.
term for
You
the English term for ratchet. That's what we say is ratchet here. You're just ghetto AF. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
you're like
ratchet.
out on road, you'll be maybe shot in, you may be stabbing people up, you may be shooting people up, doing that kind of stuff. That's road.
oh,
Whereas
okay,
like being poor, I was brought up poor, but I was never on road.
okay. Uh, you British?
And you
That
can tell by the
uses
way I
that
communicate
language
as
on a
well that I
daily.
wasn't on road. Like I
Yeah,
don't call people bro. I don't call people. I'm not like yo bro, like bruv and stuff. Like it's not my vocabulary.
yeah. We they should have called it like freaking talking white over here. So, I've got it, especially at work. I have a work for. We have what's called code switching. Code switching is where your black friends like, oh yo, what up? And then at work are your white friends like, hi Naomi, how are you doing today? And just unfortunately here we just call it talking white. Like, why do you talk white all the time?
Who
Or
me?
like a lot of black people, they'll at work, they'll hear me on the phone, and I'm like, hey, Jeanette, how are you doing today? They'll see me in person, and they'll say, you don't look like your voice. I've gotten that before too. Let's keep going.
Or how
So
about this? I get it too. AJ, you you speak so well. What country are you from? Like, I'm black. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I'm from
I've got
here.
that
What are you
too.
talking about?
Uh, let's keep the machine going.
so it doesn't even seem see from my man who used the word bro in the context he used it. He wasn't using it in a derogatory way.
he says everyone, bro.
He is indiscriminate.
And that's facts. King Richard says bruv to everybody.
He says it in
Yeah.
general. I'm not saying it's good, and if someone expresses respectfully, could you not call me bro, please? Then cool. You should not use that in that sense. But the way it's just unwarranted. Like the way she moved, there's no justification, there's no enabling, there's none of that for me. Like
didn't
whether you called her
match.
bro or whatever, like there was no need for that because she went on straight on a crud thing. So
Yeah.
she was moving like Mandem basically. So
But she
you're basically
grown.
saying if
That's true. And I just a warning. Then we'll move on. Equal rights means equal lefts. Okay,
Yeah, I've
and
said to my son.
yeah, I have a nephew who's 17, and a lot of boys his age, they ain't playing. They're raised to believe that men and women are equal. So girls try to step up, and those girls get put down. Now, we don't advocate for violence on this channel, but this is for educational purposes only.
Yeah. Well, it's like I'm not like with my son, I'm exactly the same. I'm not raising my son to be abused because men get abused as well. So here's the thing is if a woman is putting her hands on my son or any boy and it's unwarranted, why like if he hit her and then she hit him back, that's like equal. But if it's the other way around, don't put your hands on my son. I've said to him, it's all game at that point because you're putting your hands on him. And girls
Yep.
should be taught as well. If you're going to put your hands on him, you best be ready.
Yep, I agree. Let's keep it going.
There was a brother. Now
Was she
you're saying
grown?
what is it?
Yeah.
Bro,
You're saying what
I
is
was
it?
gonna say if she was younger, then maybe that's just her fight or flight, like innate. You
But
know,
no,
if you're
but
younger,
that's
excuse.
that's
Yeah.
that's
One
the.
person,
But if she
Yeah,
was
but still not an
grown,
excuse.
then-
But there's no
And
fight or
I
flight
feel
in
like
that situation. He wasn't
How
going
is
to
it
stand
fight
up.
or
He was
flight?
sat,
She
he
was
was
coming
chill, he was
after
like,
him.
like
Yeah, and she's 38 years old. People are acting like, oh yeah, she's so yeah. Don't let's keep going.
she wanted her turn to
about
talk.
left
And do you know what I think it is? It was a superiority thing. It was like, I demand everybody to listen to me right now. And then when it
Naomi spitting facts.
Yeah, I just
wasn't
want, but I
matched, it
just
was
want to respond to this person in the comments. Sorry. There are men that do suffer at the hands of women. So negating that fact would put a discern because there are women out there that do beat on a man, and because a man doesn't feel like he can hit her back or set clear boundaries because he hasn't been raised that way, he then takes it. It doesn't matter if whether you're scared of it or not, it still happens and it's still abuse.
It's
And
true.
then
And can I also say too, I've noticed that Pearl's show, everyone is respectful. But King Rich is everyone, just say all the girls that he has on there. They're like I don't know if it's because he's a black male or what, but they just disrespect him just flippantly. Like
Well, I
the
think it's
energy
also
on his
because
show.
he's a man and they know that he's not gonna fight them.
yeah, I've reached out to China on Instagram when he was building his stuff up, and I said, bro, he's ready for it. He's like, I know that some of these women are gonna come at me because I'm a black guy and they don't, they haven't had a man speak to them this way, but so he's putting stuff in place and he already knows what's up because they're gonna come for China too. China's gonna provide these women with a platform, be cool and calm and collected, and they're gonna come at them crazy. And you know what? I'm here for it. Let's go.
like, well, no, this is a podcast, and you've
Yeah.
got it was then I'm offended. And when you're in from spaces in which you're how people see you is like whether you're going to get smoked or not is a thing, then that's how she approached it. But we're on a podcast, like the energy didn't match the surrounding. And
So
that
when I
worked.
was doing a live and then Auntie jumped on the live, to be fair, it was like,
I was watching.
yeah, and it was like,
I was like, what happened?
Was the one I was in.
yeah, we were just chilling, and then
Yeah, I was on that one too.
Auntie jumped on, and I was like, yo, how you doing? You cool? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I left this. I was like, you in the studio? She's like, you didn't watch the live? I was like, no. She's like, I walked out. And then obviously when I've looked back on it, like she told me. So my thing is this. Yes, there's one thing when it comes down to the bro thing. I think there's a few parts of this. It's how you speak to when you address your women.
Right.
Yeah. So I wouldn't address women as bro, as fam, as cuz. That's not something I would do. And if I did do it, and a woman made it clear to me that she didn't want to be addressed as that, I would quickly fix up, right?
But I don't even like girls calling me.
Yeah.
Bro. That's
So,
dead.
but it's more than
Like
that. It comes down to this as well. It comes down to your vocabulary and vernacular. So, especially for someone like King Richards, who is obviously climbing up in the podcast and doing really well, like, you have to be able to grasp more vocabulary because the types of women you're gonna encounter. Like, imagine, so they had Destiny on the show, but that could have easily been Candace Owens.
Destiny. Oh my god.
I kind of liked him.
Yeah. I mean, energy is all I have to say with you, Naomi. Of
Well,
course, she liked
it was more. I
Destiny.
liked his pearls and his like little banter between them. I liked them two together. That's what I liked. I like the polarities of them two.
Destiny is
Destiny
married.
is
Has a
a left wing Ben Shapiro. He talks really, really, really fast, so it seems like he's making like a lot of really good good points. He's arguing well, but he just talks really, really fast so he can get points, responses in really, really fast, just like Ben Shapiro can. And what's interesting is that all these podcasts that he's been on, when he's been in these red pill spaces, Destiny is a logic based guy. So even he has had more red pill style views when he looks at these women who are on like all these shows saying all this full of foolishness. Because even he had to, when that Esther girl was on her live in Pearl's lobby, even he was like, dude, like, what is your problem?
Well, he's autistic, isn't he? So he can't.
I don't care.
No, but
Sorry.
what I'm saying is that he is really logical. That's what I'm agreeing with. What's his name? Sorry, I shouldn't have called you. What's his name?
Oh,
Is
it's
it
okay.
Jay? His brain will only compute things in a logical way. So he's gonna be really honest because he's most autistic people are really honest, and that's what I like.
I always say, Destiny's one of those, because that's the best part about him is his logic. I just don't agree with his like ideas, and it's just for me, Destiny's in an open marriage. He's bisexual. He lets other guys smash his wife, and then he sleeps with like other women. And I don't know, man.
That's too.
Yeah.
I just think Destiny's views are a lot of theory and not a lot of practice. So he's one of those people where he's like, oh, poor people in these communities can deal with this. Like, well, have you ever been to a poor neighborhood? No. So he's all theory. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand people.
Or he'll talk about like people of color, and he's that stereotypical left liberal, like, oh, but you have to understand
we're all their victims. Yeah.
And it's like, so anyway, let's keep going.
That she could have flown through. Could you imagine having Candace Owens on there and you're doing bro and bro?
But it doesn't matter the stature of the woman.
No, it does. It does. No, it does.
Respect.
No, wait, hold on a second. Because when you speak to somebody, you need to know the levels of how you speak. You cannot go into a parliamentary debate and do bro and bruv. It's like when you swear and you continue to swear, what it says to people is you have a low IQ or low vocabulary skill. That's all it says. Yeah. And if you're going to try to get into debates with women, with intellectual women, you're going to come. This is what's going to happen every single time. Essentially, because you are not. So we live in a world where people want to address certain ways, right? Now, if you want to be addressed in certain
But I think it should start at the base. Sorry. I think so saying that a woman that isn't at a certain stature doesn't deserve the respect of being communicated in a way in which women should be spoken to is wild to me. It's like, if you start at base level, you will just
just name me real quick. Have you seen any of Fresh and Fit's podcasts?
Yeah.
Okay, you would think that you can't call half the freaking slags on that show bro or bruv when they're coming at you all crazy.
No. I'm not talking about those situations. But say Auntie is saying to him, you know what? I don't want to be called bro. Like, he has the ability. I think it's very limiting to believe that you don't have the ability to just start from base level. And if women express, I don't really want to be called bro. Like, I don't want to be called bro because I don't have a penis. So, I mean, like, I can see past it with him because I see it as a South London like road thing. But if it was my partner and he was calling me bro, or if it was like somebody close to me, I'd just be like, come on.
Yeah, I can say, because I don't, I still call women that I respect, Miss or Mrs. You know what I'm saying? But like my parents raised me that way, so yeah, I can understand. I would never call a woman that was older than me bro or bruv either, and that's just as King Richard, he gets bigger, he's just gonna have to figure that out. But let's keep going.
And you want me to call you a zebra, and that's what you want to be called, a zebra. I'm gonna call you a zebra, not because I might know you're not a zebra. But if you want to be referred to as a zebra, I'm going to refer to you as a zebra while we have this conversation, because not referring to you as a zebra is going to come with too much. But I keep calling you something that you don't want to be referred to. Now I'm fighting against you when easily I can attach my speed. Whether or not I think you're a zebra or not, that's not what we're speaking about. So what I'm trying to talk about is how you speak to people. Then we'll speak about elders, right?
Please call me Witchy Naomi from now on.
No, but I'm
sorry.
Keep going.
Right? And we grew up calling everyone auntie and uncle, right? That's how we grew up. when I was younger and I'll go around to my friends' home and they'll be like, oh, his mom's called Carol or Karen or Sharon. They'll be like, I felt weird. I couldn't do it. Even if you're dating a girl and the mum says to you, call her by the name, I can't do that. I have to be like mumsy. Like it's just something that we do. So there's a little bit where auntie doesn't.
Yo, I don't know, we're all black. Do you have white friends who call their own parents
by their first name?
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, ain't happening in these parts over here. Heck no.
Don't want to be addressed auntie, like everyone calls her auntie, right? So by not recognizing that, and also the fact they're all part of the whole inside the just barely thing, you would think that you would have better ways to address it. So I just think this was just an example of what can happen when you don't actually really respect how people want to be referred to or known to, because the world that we're going in, it can create a lot more problems than anything. I'm not saying that you need to pander for people. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that this is how the world is right now. And if you meet someone, like if you keep calling me sis, I'll be like, my girl, or girl, I'll be like, listen, you're being
Yeah, I think he literally meant like cis, like
sister,
woman cis.
Yeah.
But I reject the term cis in front of my gender. I'm a male and a man.
Oh yeah, I
So
rejected on somebody called me on one of the comments in China's lives, and I was like, I'm a woman. I have a womb. I'm like, go away.
yeah, I reject it.
And
Someone
then
says, "Oh,
I like how
you cis men." I'm like, stop! Don't even call me that again. Go ahead.
And then I
AJ.
also like how there's white people now, because a lot of these people who say this are these woke white women, right? And they will try and tell a black woman like Naomi that there's something wrong with her because she won't say what she thinks she should say. Does that make sense? So a white woman is trying to tell a black woman what to say.
But
So
the
you
thing
have
is,
to say it, or you're
even
cancel. Crazy.
But the thing is, it's like across the board, they're wanting to be heard in the sense of call me what I want to be called. Okay, but that's fine. I will call you, as Shani said, a zebra if you want to be a zebra, or you can be a pickle if you want to be a pickle. I'll call you that. But here's the thing: you're not going to then tell me what I'm going to be called. I'm a woman. I was born with a womb. I push out heads from my vagina, so I will be called a woman. Full stop. And if you're not okay with that, we don't need to have a conversation.
Yep, I agree 100%. Boom.
disrespectful now. Like I've told you multiple times not to call me that. Or if you keep calling me something I don't want to be called, and you keep doing it, and you're telling me I call everybody that, I'll be like, no, that's not good enough.
I think when we talk about like the language thing. So I was talking to Bex about this before we came in. Like 6 months ago, I wouldn't have been sat here in a dress with my makeup and my hair done. I'd have been sat here in a tracksuit. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just that I'm finding my fluidity as a female again. But you know, you
as the other girls
find
wearing
your
a
own
tracksuit.
feminine thing, and I really struggle.
Telling you that tracksuit bothered me the whole time, dude. And I'm glad that you brought up the whole hijab thing, because I was thinking that was a straight up do-rag. Oh man.
With my femininity, because I've been through so much therapy where you're told to be independent, you're told to be strong, you're told to be, you don't need anybody else. And when you come out the back of that therapy, there isn't someone there to like, right, now we're going to teach you how to love again. Now we're going to teach you how to date again. Now we're going to teach you how to, you know, be that feminine, vulnerable, soft, sensitive person again. So during those times of therapy, I was very guilty of swearing and saying bro. And
look at everyone's faces on the right side of the room. Like, dude, who cares? Like, what?
Hello, darkness, my friend.
I know,
yeah,
right?
I'm sorry, but she just took the whole conversation and just made it about her therapy and all of this. And now she's been talking, and everyone's just kind of like nodding off as she's just la 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 when she's reiterating the therapy point again.
Yeah. Yep.
And close to me, I'm going to give you whatever energy you want to call it, and you're going to know you can't come near me. Whereas now I'm softening, and that even stemmed to my family or my friends, the way I spoke to them. I was literally a guarded wall to absolutely everybody. So I spoke to them inappropriately because I was just trying to protect my peace. Whereas now I get more back from being nicer to people, which is why I do charity work now. And
All that, huh?
Stop. You're
I,
too
you know,
funny. You've taken petty to the whole petty side.
I'm telling you, it's petty life on my channel.
A
I ain't
petty
even,
party. I'm gonna now
yeah.
call this the Doug Petty Party. Is that what?
Shoot,
Yeah.
petty life, oh, petty life.
can build bonds with
Oh,
people much
petty
better now because
life.
I've worked on
Mhm.
that myself. So like you have to understand what people want from you if you're gonna communicate with
But
them.
if you want to be a podcast host, if you want to be in any situation where you're going to be interviewing,
And I'm just gonna say this over here. See, this girl is one of the reasons why, in a lot of red pill spaces, but especially over here, don't date psychology women, don't date social work women, just don't do it because this is why. Like women that are social workers, psychologists, they have a role in society, but most of their personal lives are messed up, and they have this this thing where they think that reality has to filter through their ideas because of their training. And this woman, I'm not disrespecting her work and what she's gone through, but they're just symptoms of women who are in this field, and this is exactly what she's doing.
communicate. I've been on his
Not Naomi, the other girl.
podcast, and he called me the Guardians of the Galaxies because because he was calling me you and bro, and I was like, that's not my name. And so what I did is I twisted it and used it as humor and tagged him in it and put Guardians of the Galaxy music and put, just in case anybody didn't know my name, it's not you, it's Naomi. Because like as much as we can
And that's one of the best ways to navigate male spaces. Respond with humor, because guys, we don't respond to nagging or like even getting emotional anymore. Because so many women get emotional now. Just if you respond with a good humor and a good joke, a guy will listen to you 100% of the time.
demand how we want to be spoken to. We can't guarantee how people are going to be how people are going to speak to us. But what I can do is make sure that yeah, it's annoyed me, yeah, it's irritated me, but like me getting up and irate and angry and shouting at him isn't going to change his
Yep.
perception. If he wants to continue to say bro after every second sentence, it's like when people say in it or like there's always like a breathing space when people don't have, like you said, the vocabulary to
I have a
put a sentence together.
question.
And I
Hey
don't think
Naomi,
we
what is everyone's problem with when King Richard says boom? What is it? What is that? He's like,
What?
all right, boom. What
I
is
think he's gonna make a point. All right, bum.
okay,
This is what it is.
okay.
Da, 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 da.
Is it feeling interrupted or something?
Like
No,
Or,
it's like bum.
or
I'm
dismissive?
gonna make a statement now.
no, there
Listen
was
to
like
what I'm
these
saying.
two girls on his show that were like, and I don't like anyone. I don't like anyone who says boom. He says boom. Like what is? Look, I
I
don't
don't know
know.
what their problem is about it, but I mean, I think people are just at the point now. They they just want to pick him apart because he's not pandering and he doesn't fit the normal podcaster like box, does he? Like he's very South London road. He's very much like a lot of guys that I know, like friendships, and I find it quite endearing. I find him quite endearing, but a lot of women will find it quite what's the word? Intimidating, I guess. And so they just now want to pick holes to fit their narrative. Oh, look, the way he's so aggressive in the way he shuts us down and da da da, he's doing this. And he's like, I think people just like picking people apart. So, like,
I'm
I don't
just
know what
glad that he's telling these hoes to hit the road, man. Shoot, he should have started kicking people out a
He
long
he
time
kicked
ago.
people out like
every
4 shows
week.
in a row. It was crazy.
Yeah. I was on when was it? The other day. And I think that's where you were talking about my side eyeing.
Yeah.
And
I get just like because that was the the black woman with the bigger one with the red weave, right?
yeah.
I don't understand. And
Oh, the
I
hey
said,
Kool-Aid chick.
yeah, yeah,
Hey
yeah.
Kool-Aid.
Oh man,
The
like
what? The what chick? What?
you didn't have Kool-Aid commercials in the
No, we didn't
UK.
drink Kool-Aid. I think the only time I drank Kool-Aid was when I went to my Portuguese friend's house. And
Yeah,
is that the stuff that's just pure sugar and then you add a bit of water to it?
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And
The
we used to
Yeah,
the
drink
no.
red.
mascot.
My
The,
mum's white.
Red.
We didn't have that. Like,
but I don't. I said this in a super chat with King Riches, and he. But anyway, like women need to understand that you can like who's more likely to get brolic with the opposite sex now? Try and chest up, men or women? I'd say that it's women. Women like her. She's telling King Riches, "You need to let me finish. You need to guys don't do that on China's show on Pearl. Guys don't do any of that. Women do it. Why?" And it's just I I don't. There's gonna have to be a change because you know, I'm 42, and we are the last generation that are just put up with it. There are guys coming up in their 20s right now who are gonna be in their 30s who are just not gonna let that slide at all. You know what I'm saying?
But do you know what'll happen? Because it's not going to be let slide. It won't happen because women will have to evolve to a space of. Do you know what I think it is? Is no, I don't think. Do you know what it is? Is nobody actually listens to each other. Like most of the time, we're not taught active listening when we're growing up. We're taught to have to in class. Oh, you taught to stand up confidently and speak, and stand up and conversate like this, debate like this. But we're
And
never
listen
taught
to respond and not to actually listen.
exactly. So I think when and also when have you read the book The Chimp Paradox? Where as soon as you're triggered, and everybody has a different threshold of being triggered, right? Mine takes a very long time. Hers obviously that is her trigger, and so she didn't feel like she was heard. So her little girl inside feels, I'm not being heard here. Let me finish, let me finish, let me finish. And because she doesn't have the, I guess, the emotional tools in her toolkit to navigate that conversation, it then just comes across as like entitlement of like, I
Yeah.
demand being heard.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of guys have
Adrian,
that too.
real quick, hold on. Everything that you're saying, I agree with Naomi. But my biggest thing is I have a saying over here. You're making your problem my problem, and that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All that may be true, but why is she making that King Richard's problem? She can have all that. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, she may have that. I
No,
agree
no,
with
I'm
you.
not. I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's makes it okay. I'm saying that
Mhm.
that's my analysis of why she would have felt it's okay to do X, Y, and Z. Because I don't think anybody's problems is anybody's. I don't think if a man doesn't know how to emotionally regulate, it's not my problem to have to deal with him screaming and shouting at me. Full stop. Like at any
Yeah.
given point. So I wouldn't put up with that. My boundary would be very clear. Like King Richard's, his boundary is so fucking clear. Get off. Bye.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like people will eventually have to, unless they want to get dashed off and look stupid, you just shut up.
Just something to say, AJ?
Nope.
Okay. We're gonna do the last 5 minutes. I said that we do the first hour, and I'll probably do the last 37 minutes in a different stream. But let's get to the last 5 minutes at the hour mark.
Education is his starting point from him going into this. It's his arms.
I was gonna say, I feel like I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Yeah.
Go on.
We love a devil's
Oh, go
advocate.
See
ahead.
me, yeah. If I've been done told you, don't speak to me like that. Obviously, I haven't watched it, so I'm just going off of
Yeah.
what you lot
You're
are
going the
saying,
right
yeah.
way with it.
Yeah.
So
I ain't gonna lie, sis. I'm about to interject
that's why, let me just
after.
listen, get the knowledge and see. From what you lot have said to me, it's like if you're gonna keep poking the bear,
See, I'm just gonna say, see, women like this. This is dangerous talk here, because listen to how she's talking like she can fight. She's talking about. They set the context that she was talking to a man this way, and the fact that she can talk like this, knowing that it's a woman talking to a man. This is how crazy of a world we're in.
don't expect a level of control over her reaction now. Because I'm not saying it's justified. I'm not saying you should while out and start threatening man, whatever. But not everyone's built like you. Not everyone thinks the way you think. Not everybody's gone through the same things you've gone through. People are shaped differently. People have different triggers. For example, a lot of people are undiagnosed.
Yeah.
Like I've got PTSD. I've got anxiety. I was diagnosed when I was 14. My sister was diagnosed with bipolar depression last year. She's
No one knows your understanding.
And
now
that's
18.
the opposite.
No,
So you've had a
I
young
was gonna
diagnosis,
say,
and I've had an old
Doug
diagnosis.
MPA, that there is control over her reactions. See, like men have all the same, wanting to be heard and everything else that a lot of women have. The only thing is, if we'll get punched in the mouth if we disrespect each other. So that's usually how there's a control over a person's behavior. Like with men, if I was on Richards' show, and I was like, man, you better, and I got in his face. You know, he's a 6'2" dude. I'm a 6'3". We're gonna start boxing. You know what I'm saying? But she knows that she can get in King Richards' face and threaten him, and not expect an ass whooping. You know?
Yep, I agree. Let's get through the last 3 minutes.
That comes with all its own problems.
But John, like my sister went through like school, college, wilding out, doing like crazy, to only find out actually there's something behind this. I'm not saying that's the case, but what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, it comes down to respect, because if you're gonna play that card, you have no power over what I'm gonna do. You have no power over my reaction. And then after now I've reacted in a way that maybe doesn't
Well,
please
if she
you,
was male, that wouldn't be the case.
Yeah, that's the difference between. It's just, Naomi, listen to how she's talking. This is the danger of women. Like over here on this channel, women should not speak about violence. They should not speak about violence, because you women will never have the same understanding as men. And the only reason why she could talk this way is because she's a woman. Let's get back into it.
have something to say. But if you had respected it from the jump, we wouldn't be here.
Or and when they're talking, you just want to say, okay, or what? Well, I didn't like what you said to me. So, or because guys, we say, oh, okay, you feel disrespected. What are you gonna do about it? And then we start fighting. But women, like, they never get to that point.
So generally, I totally agree with her. But because you haven't seen it in this context,
that's what I'm saying.
So I fully agree with you in general, because like if you break the rules, then the rules are broken. Now you can't dictate to me where I cap or limit my reaction. Do you get? And so I've got a lot of anecdotes with that. But in this specific thing, I want to separate 3 different issues. And I think by mixing it, we're kind of justifying and enabling it. Like that girl's behavior is totally separate.
Right.
That accountability is needed for that.
Yeah.
My guy is saying, bro, accountability is needed for that. But relatively speaking, that was trivial compared to the other things.
Yeah.
He's right.
And also, even though respectfully, that's an elder, and I do talk to my elders and say, auntie, she had some accountability to take too. Auntie had some accountability to take too. And what she said could have got me easily misconstrued by a lot of people. She didn't mean no divisive thing against West Indians and Africans.
Just to say, Auntie got way too hype on that stream. She got way too hype, and Destiny is a big guest, and Auntie never should have walked off that show, and she should have not got so hyped, because over here in the United States, Destiny's big, and the fact that Pearl like flew him out and had him as a guest, and Auntie walked off the show, dude. Oh my goodness.
Trying to like diffuse. Okay, so I've got kind of 2, like, I think initially she was like, you know what, I'm gonna walk off, because she was angry in the initial stages. But I think then it was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just say it was because I was diffusing it. I couldn't quite work out whether I believed that it was a intentional thing to diffuse the situation, because she made out at the time it was like, nah, I'm disrespected you, I'm gone. Why wouldn't you just say, okay, I'm gonna leave with this girl and diffuse this? Like, you know, it didn't quite ring true fully for me. Yeah,
I agree.
He was saying to King Richards, why didn't you just pick her up and move her? And I'm like, what, and catch a case?
Yeah.
That
I
is
was
the
on that
biggest bunch of foolishness that I've ever heard in my entire life, man. What?
But do you know what?
Drinking or something.
Do you know what? Do you know what I have to say is that, like, as much as I respect her, and I think she's so funny. It's like, you're then promoting a man to just dash around a woman, and him catch a case could put him at risk.
Yeah.
And it's like, you weren't acting from a place of femininity in that whole show.
Yeah.
But yet people say, but then she calls out other people for not being feminine. For me, sometimes the hypocrisy in it just wild.
Yeah. Well,
crying Esther, King Richards tatted up black guy. Hello, you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing good can come from that conversation at all. Like that, the fact that she even said that is just total clown world. Here, big black guy, which the cops you usually don't look at in the most favorable way. Let's pick up a woman.
A white woman as well.
Yeah, let's physically
I don't think
her.
she's. Well, I don't think she's white, but I mean, white of complexion.
How about
Yeah.
that?
She
She ain't
yeah.
Mexican.
Yeah. She's light enough to she looks wide enough to get more of the benefit of the doubt than any other person on this panel right here. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And it's
And
just
this isn't.
for me real quick, like, yeah, you know, I've talked to Ani about this. She says that she's not red pill and she gives horrible advice to men, right? But you got popular on a red pill platform and people see you on a red pill platform and come to you like
For advice.
seeking yes. So I don't know,
And
man.
you
Like,
know the wild point is that she embodies all of the things that they're against.
yeah,
Just
100%.
because you dress up in a dress doesn't mean that you're feminine.
Yeah,
And then,
yep, I agree.
men are just scared of women. No, men are scared of the system that women can call on them
Yeah,
if things go sideways. You
100.
think
Yeah.
about this. Now we have football players here. We have NFL football players.
Mm.
6'7", 300 pounds. Big old dudes that and they will be getting screamed at, yelled at by their 120-pound wives, and hitting them also. Because if they hit her back, she's gonna call the cops. The
Yeah,
cops come. It's the system that women can use. You know what I'm
yeah.
Yeah.
saying? And it's not all, but enough. So we
Mm.
have to
Yeah.
think. And the fact that she didn't even think that King Rizzes is a tatted up, kind of hood dude. You know what I'm saying? The last thing he needs to do is put his hands on any woman, even that Esther girl who was nuts. All she had to do is scream and yell, and he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I'm gonna sum it
wild.
up because we have one more minute to go, but women should not speak on matters of violence, and
Mm-mm.
that's another example. So let's get through this last minute, and then
Unless somebody does something to their children.
well, no, but okay, that's acting, but I'm talking about on conversations
Oh, okay,
of
yeah.
violence, and like honestly, unless yeah, because we all understand, if your life's in danger or your children's life's
Yeah,
in danger,
exactly.
but all right, let's get through this last minute.
But what she said could have been seen in that. And a
So
lot of
yeah.
it-
This aren't
wait,
you.
hold on,
No,
hold on.
no, because
A lot of it
Wait.
is.
He's
Wait,
So-
hold on. Hold on. A lot of it is subjective.
yeah.
A lot of it is.
But wait,
A lot of it is
There
subjective.
we
hold on a
go
second.
again. A lot of it's
I just need to explain
subjective.
to
A
her.
lot of
So
it's
I was even
variable.
gonna give
because
it.
she
Mhm.
because
Not
she doesn't know.
auntie style.
I'll give you the hold
Let
up.
me
Wait,
see
guys,
the
wait.
auntie.
So just
Go
quickly, just they was having that Esther on the show, and
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and then I can't. Basically, they were trying to.
She understands that.
You know, they call her the
Yeah.
Nigerian guys. They call her the Nigerian queen, whatever.
The Nigerian queen.
Queens.
I know that has to chap, all all the people that are from Nigeria, culturally Nigerian, and understand the Nigerian culture. That has to get all you guys' goat, man. Oh,
Hey Naomi, I don't know.
But essentially,
You said
Mhm.
that you're Nigerian, right?
Yeah, I just think
Okay.
for her to put herself in any label of queen, no matter
Yeah.
what race or
Well,
what country you're from, is crud because
well,
no queen.
have you ever heard of the term Nuyorican?
No.
Okay, so Ricans are people that are hella Puerto Rican, but they've only grown up in New York. They've never ever gone to Puerto Rico at all, ever.
Mm.
But they'll rep the flag. They're like, Puerto Rican son, what? Yeah. But the people in Puerto Rico are like, what? Like, what are you like? How are you more hardcore Puerto Rican than Puerto Ricans from Puerto Rico are? And
Mm.
that's what it seems like Esther is. She's like, I am Nigerian, la 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 la, but she doesn't actually represent Nigeria at
Well,
all.
I don't think she represents a word. Like, I think even if you remove the word Nigerian from the beginning of it, she doesn't represent a woman well, full stop. So it's like full stop.
oh man.
I'm not saying that I'm perfect in the way in which I present myself at all times. I'm not saying that at all. But at the same time, there's been so many even and I'm quite a patient person when I'm listening to people like speak. The time when she was on with Andrew Tate, I was like, why is she there? Why is she speaking? Like
That was a wasted opportunity. Like Pearl lobbed Denalva and Esther the opportunity of a lifetime, and they just fumbled it. It was awful. It was awful.
she
And
was just
Pearl had to think about it from like a content perspective. So it's like I can see what Pearl was doing. It's like
But the moment
she,
you bring Andrew Tate in, you don't actually have to think about that element.
yeah, that's true.
Like Andrew Tate overruled. Esther and Denelva weren't bringing anything above Andrew Tate. Like the moment you've got Andrew Tate on, you're good. You know,
Yeah, they could have
Mhm.
just had Brittany Renner and Andrew Tate with Pearl in the
would have
middle.
been
That would
better.
have been
Yeah.
Yeah,
enough.
but
You know?
Esther, she was calling Andrew Tate Tate. She wasn't even calling him by his first name.
Yeah.
That's
But
how disrespectful that
you know, the funny
broad
thing is after, because I reposted something, I was like, why is this girl even there? And somebody inboxed me and was like, yeah, I don't even know why she can even openly go in there and speak on these matters when she dated one of his friends, and the guy said that her feet are crusty and they stink so bad, so he dumped her. And that was an inbox to my inbox. I was like, wow, people are wild out here with their
Yeah.
like pettiness. I just thought I would add some petty to the party.
Yeah, see, you've been hanging out with me way too long.
I know, I've been here too long, 2 hours too long.
All right, let's finish this up. We get to the hour mark. We'll, just say a little bit of closing, and later for just any thoughts about the show so far, and then we can sum it up.
She
Esther.
calls
Well,
herself,
yes,
like-
she calls herself the Nigerian queen, but she was basically saying that Nigerians are better than.
No, she
no.
didn't.
That's what I want to. Let me explain the
No,
context.
No, because I watched it.
Yeah, no, I hear that,
but
but
she
maybe
didn't
your
say that.
interpretation. Let me show you my interpretation. Innit? What happened was Auntie was, in my opinion, and I'll say this with just, and I don't mean no disrespect to anyone, because someone's older. Someone's older, and I respect them, but also that doesn't exempt people that are older, even my mom, my dad, to also take accountability. And I speak to my parents and that respectfully. So, Auntie was over talking in a sense, and didn't when the girl Esther was talking, there was a bit of like people talking over each other. So Esther did an African accent, saying Auntie. I won't do the accent, but Auntie, but in an African accent or Nigerian accent. Cool. So Auntie responded and said, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not effing African, kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. Cool.
So she's
and then she said something like, I'm West Indian, I'm not African. Right, cool. Then she was carrying on, and then the host, what's his name?
King Richard.
King Richard said something like, but before he said that, she said, oh, well, if you're African.
Okay, we just hit the hour mark. It's been about 2 hours. So, I want to do this reaction because I thought this was a good show. Any AJ, what do you think of the show so far? And did you have anything you wanted to say? Because I know that China said that he likes reactions because he likes to see any kind of reactions for feedback and stuff. Anything about the show so far?
Yeah, just like I said, if he could do like a 5 to 8 minute kind of monologue at the beginning, maybe with like just his face. He's like, "Hey, look, I'm China today. Well, I noticed this, that, blah blah blah," so that people can kind of get to know him better, and then talk to the guests or whatever. I mean, because I've just seen clips and his Instagram, but I don't know a lot about him or like kind of his views on like general topics. But I like how he keeps the conversation going, and then he also like, I don't know how he does it, but like he can interrupt people, but in a way like there was the one girl, the therapy girl, and then the girl next to her. China's had to interrupt them because they were talking too damn much, right? But like they didn't fly off the handle, you know. So like he has a way to like in a measured way, like hey, da, da, da. So like the fact that he keeps the show on track. But yeah, I mean, other than they may be getting bigger couches because everyone's sitting on each other's laps. I'm just joking. But no, just I always thought China was like a really good part of Pearl's show, and then I hope he does well. And yeah, man, I mean, So if you're in the chat, man, keep up the good work, and I wish you a lot of success. I'm subscribed to your channel, so like there's a lot of good things going on over there. And yeah, you have guts for even going on Instagram Live, because a lot of knuckleheads go on Instagram Live. So and you don't have a lot of control. So but yeah, other than that, this is AJ's rants reactions. I'm on YouTube. I do a lot of red pill stuff, so like and subscribe. And yeah, that's
I'll
it for
put
me.
I'll put your link to your channel in the thing here. Give me 1 second. At least I can do for you coming up.
Yeah, and just I think that a lot of people, I'll say it again, really responded to that clip of when China asked the girl to stop swearing in their conversations. Like, and the fact that he doubled down on it's impolite. And that's the one thing that we expect from everyone is common courtesy. And the fact that he showed that a woman couldn't even give him common courtesy, and all those girls were ganging up on him and arguing about being polite to him, I think like that shows the potential that he has to be like a, a superstar in this space, because he was staring down the barrel of like 8 or 9 304s on that show. It was like 1-on-7 or something. And he had drawn his line in the sand, and none of them wanted that smoke. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I put the link to your channel in the chat box.
Cool.
Then,
thanks, guys.
Naomi, what about you? What'd you think about the first hour? Now that you're looking back on it.
Yeah, I am a complete cheerleader of China. I think he is a great space in which we can have these conversations. And like AJ said, that he really knows how to direct the conversation in a healthy way. And I think people haven't got triggered by him yet, because like I said, he's curated the space. So we all have a level of respect for him already. Because he's already built up that relationship with us all. But yeah, I thought it was a great show, and I will definitely be on more. You'll see more of me.
Okay. Well, I would say, I've been riding with China since day one. He knows that I've been shouting him out in the chats for like every single time he's on there. Because once again, he's an accomplished, traditional, successful, Black man. He wants to get married, wants to have a family, and he's one of the rarest type of people in the space. And I like all of his ideas. I'm wishing him much success. If I had to say anything about the show, just I wish that Bexy talked a little more, but I'm biased because I think that Bexy's awesome.
I do have to say that I'm going to be doing a live with Bexy, another woman who's a great human as well, on my Instagram soon.
Can you drop your Instagram in the?
I can't. Could you do it? It's N_Mamadou.
Hold on, real quick. Naomi's IG is, you said
N_. Mike Oscar Delta Uniform 87.
So in like Nancy _
Mamadou.
Okay. 87. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. And so we're going to do a live and really go deep on femininity and the polarities, and like how we can bring that into these spaces.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you the same thing I used to ask China back in the day. Why are you not doing on YouTube?
So what I'm doing is I'm gonna start doing lives, and then go over to that space, because I'm going to start doing my own podcast as well. I was co-hosting a podcast, but I want to do my own, because I want to have really conscious conversations, and conversations like this where I bring on guys, but also the women will be curated, because I've got lots of women that are in spaces that are very feminine and come from a very much like Bex. Me and Bex very much mirror in the sense of how we think. I have got more of a masculine energy, the military. Thank you very much. But yeah, at the same time, we still have the same message. So I definitely want to give Bex, because I recognize that as well, give Bex more of a space on my where I open my my space up for her as well. So that's gonna
Okay.
happen.
In the meantime, though, is what I recommend doing is start your YouTube up, and then if you do lives on Instagram, you can
So,
upload those to YouTube,
YouTube
so you
and
can start getting
getting to
actual following here.
yep.
yeah, that's what I was thinking of doing. Starting lives, doing a bit like how China did it, like
Yep.
getting engagement first before investing money into doing studio time and all of that
Yeah.
stuff.
And I was talking to China on IG one time, just text and stuff, and he said that if he would have waited for what would it to happen. I think he said on one of his lives that he put on it when he got 1,000 subs. He said, Don't wait until you think you have it perfect to start because you're probably never going to start."
Yeah, no,
Okay,
Yeah,
just
100%.
yeah,
get it
that was
started.
me too. That was
Mhm.
me too.
And
Me,
and
you, because I have a
yeah,
podcast also, and I was trying to have the perfect product, and you don't know what your product is until you put it out there, and you get
Yeah.
feedback. I have one video with 101,000 views on YouTube, and
Oh
it was
wow.
the one that I just didn't even think about, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I understood that I've been over things.
you're going in and out, AJ.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna sum it up. So I'm gonna do part two, and then I want to do. I think my next live is either gonna be a part two on this, and then also a part two where, um, are you familiar with the term MGTOW, Naomi?
No.
So there's a movement called Men Go Their Own Way in the United States, and it's
Mm.
guys who usually successful guys who are choosing not to get married, and some avoid relationships with women until the laws change in the United States. So I want to try to have China on. It would be
Mm.
kind of cool if you were on because
Yeah, definitely.
MGTOW is a status where you can be a MGTOW until you don't want to be anymore. But there are tenets to it, and a lot of British people I thought you have no idea what MGTOW is. So it would be kind of interesting to get some different people's views as to the
Yeah,
American MGTOW,
that's
the
interesting.
tenets and everything. Yeah,
So
because
they don't have relationships at all?
so, they have sexual
Oh.
relationships or
Sorry.
casual, but there's certain states in the United States where they have cohabitation laws. So if you live with a woman for like 3 years or more, and you break up with her, she could still sue you for like alimony and stuff.
What? That's
Yeah,
wild. 3
yeah.
years.
So some of the basic um, rules of MGTOW are no marriage, no cohabitation.
Mm.
Just all the and it's a response because you could argue that feminism is women having gone their own way for the past 30 years, and now men
100%.
are responding, going their own way. And then also, one of the biggest tenets is that you know one of the biggest worries about MGTOW is society was built on men and our duty to society. But one of the tenets of MGTOW is, hey, with feminism, men doesn't owe society anything. You know,
Mm.
I can, and men, we should do what makes us happy. So now I'm kind of like China, where I want to get married and stuff like that. But
Mm.
I the MGTOW philosophy has always intrigued me, especially for young guys who are trying to come up and get to 35 and six figures and stuff. Anyway, so
Yeah, I 100%. I think if it can change laws, then like especially because if my son was in America in those spaces where you just live with, I would say don't ever live with somebody until like just don't do it
yeah.
because what she can take you for money just because you lived in the same house. It's wild.
Are you subscribed to my channel?
No, I'll do it now.
Yes, subscribe, and then and then when I start the live, because I really want China to come on, because I had a conversation with him about one of his lives, and on one of his lives, and his mind was blown. He's like,
Yeah.
"What?" So it'd be kind of cool to have you guys in there, because I have a couple
Yeah.
of videos I would like uh, us to watch from some MGTOW content creators, and it would be kind of cool, especially from a woman's point of view, like what you think. So anyway,
Yeah, definitely.
stay tuned for part two of this, and then the you know the China meets MGTOW. No, Mandem's voice meets MGTOW. Hopefully that's going to come up. But yeah, thanks for being on, Naomi, and
Thank you
everyone's
for having me.
still in the chat. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we are out of here. Have a good night.
Hey, bye.